Yeah, it is. That's why you die. You're called a corpse because that's short for corporation.
No, it's not.
You're
Can you give me any reason to
universal.
believe that corpse is somehow related to corporation? Please get a
Yeah.
fucking grip on society. Get a grip, dude.
I am
Holy
on
shit.
it. What are you talking
Acquaint yourself with reality.
So, ad hominem is how you
dude,
debate. Ad
No,
hominem is how
that's
you
not
debate.
an ad hominem. What's an
That
ad
is an ad
hominem?
hominem. You attacking
No.
you attacking the person and not the subject. You
No,
telling me
I've already attacked the arguments. I've shown how the arguments are
you
incoherent.
attacked the argument, bro.
I already did.
No, you didn't.
I already did, and that's not an insult either, right?
It was an insult. Get a grip
How?
on sight, bro, man.
Get
I
a grip.
know about the
Me telling you
Masons.
to acquaint yourself with the reality because I think that you're wrong
Bro, my
isn't an
family are
insult.
Freemasons, bro. I know about the Masons, bro.
So
You can't
control
tell me
things?
I don't.
So you're the
I know
controller?
all about them.
So you're the controller?
I'm not a controller. I'm not in it.
Okay, well, my family is the anti-Freemasons, and they say that they don't exist. Okay, can you give me fucking
They
evidence, please?
definitely do exist. My great grandfather was a 33rd. My uncle's a 32nd right now, and my aunt is an Eastern Star.
Hold up. I'm not
You
just saying
talking
the
about?
existence. Hold up. I'm not disputing the existence of just Freemasons. What I'm disputing is the idea that they control the entire world. That they bought.
No, they don't control the entire
hold
world.
on, that they bought the
control
federal
us.
government. That each individual, a human being, of their names are indications of them being a corporation because their name is. I mean, because we call dead bodies corpses. Like these are
That's
incoherent
short for it.
gibberish
English is a
claims.
spell-casting
You're
language.
just gibberating. You're just
No, it's
gibberating.
not. No, I'm not, because you can't dispute it. English is a spell casting language, bro. Everything you speak is a spell. It all comes from
What do you mean
numerology,
everything
letters
you
or
speak is a
numbers.
spell? Can you give me evidence
That's why
to
it's
believe
called
that's true?
spelling. That's why
wait,
it's
can you-
called spelling.
Oh, can you give me evidence to believe that's true? Just because something has a name does not mean that you're actually casting spells. We're not fucking Harry Potter, okay? Can you give me some
Yeah,
evidence?
because you
that
could
that's
say
true?
good morning, right? Morning. What's good about morning? All you just did was add a U.
Dude, by good
What's good
morning,
about
we
morning,
have
bro?
dude, we're not talking in a literal sense. You're thinking all language is literal.
Well, you just
This is
said give me
figurative.
evidence.
Hold
I
up,
gave
stop,
you
stop,
evidence,
stop.
bro.
Good morning. No, this is not spells. How is that
That's
a
a spell, because everything you speak is a
Good
spell. Letters
morning.
together are called spelling.
Good morning.
Letters together are called spelling, man. There's a reason
Good
for
morning.
that. English is one of the last formed languages.
You like my spell, dude? Good morning. Good morning.
No, you
Like,
can
are you
speak
serious?
spells, you can think spells, you can cast spells, bro.
Like, what do you fucking mean? Can you actually give me like legitimate evidence? You're
I just
honestly
did. That's just
that's
one.
not evidence.
Just like when you call it, when you wake in the morning, of what is awake when you go to a funeral? It's awake.
Dude, that is
right?
not evidence. Okay, I'm sorry, man. Right? You actually believe in fairy
So
tales.
what kind of evidence do you need?
Ironically believes in fairy tales, spells, mystical magic.
No, I
land.
don't. It's not. It's facts. It's facts because that's what
What
they
facts?
believe in. You don't think that they control you with frequencies and
Who controls us?
Oh my God! I just told you who controls you, man.
Okay, but you can't even identify to me that they exist, right? You're just
I just
making
told you,
claims.
man. I told you. I'll
doing
tell
is
you who
making
the
claims.
Statue of Liberty is. It's
He's a claim
Columbia,
generator.
bro.
He's a
The
claim
District of Columbia. Why isn't that a state or a city? Why is it just an entity? Why is
well,
it surrounded
yeah,
by
because-
Virgin and Maryland? Why is it
You want me to
surrounded
explain?
by
Do
Virgin
you want me to
Mary,
explain,
bro?
or do you just want to keep asking questions?
So let me
Okay.
hear your bullshit
Yeah.
ass explanation.
Okay, so you're just you think it's bullshit. That's actually called you
Well,
muddying
I mean,
the water.
what goes around
so
comes around, bro, right?
Actually,
You can throw
that
the
is an
claims
ad-
out.
Wait,
I'm a
wait,
claim
wait,
out,
wait,
too.
wait. You want to know crazy? You want to know crazy? That was actually an ad hom. Right, because you're saying that it's false by the fact that it's bullshit, but you were making an insult. That's
No,
actually an
I
ad
wasn't
hominem.
making an insult. I said your claim, your excuse to this is probably some bullshit that you made up. So let me hear.
That is that you're attacking the character. You're saying that because of my character, I generate
Eye
bullshit.
for an eye, bro.
What are you talking about? But you're saying
talking.
I'm false because of that, right? If I give you an insult, it's gonna be to insult you,
No,
not
I said
the
your
argument,
claim was
right?
false. I didn't, just like you said mine was, and that I'm in fucking fairyland. I'm saying yours probably is the same as well.
No, unironically, you are in fairyland because you literally believe that we cast spells with our language.
Yeah,
you
we
believe
do,
that
bro.
corpse, right,
We
indicates
do.
that we're fucking corporations.
Because
You believe in
frequencies
magical,
control
mystical
everything.
fairy tale land.
Frequencies and sound control everything, bro.
What do you
That's
mean by
why there's
control
slow
things?
music in a fucking
What do you
elevator,
mean by
bro.
control things?
They control your moods. They control the vibration in the room. Everything is
you can
vibrating.
get different emotional responses to particular frequencies, but that does
Yes.
not mean you are necessarily
That is a fact.
controlled.
So that means when you speak, it's a sound,
No,
a
no, because
frequency, and a vibration all in once, which means that I can make you mad or angry by what I say. Just like right now, you can get out of
I
your
wouldn't say
emotion
that's
at times.
necessarily. I wouldn't say that's necessarily based upon like the frequency. I
It
think that
is.
might be more or less related to like
Frequencies come out of your
no,
phone at
no,
all time,
no.
bro.
It would be related to my experiences with how people use particular tones. Right. That's why
That's what
people
you
have
think.
traumatic responses to tones or even what's considered tone yelling, because it is the case that they have past or prior experiences with this particular phenomena being bad. And that's why we have some type of negative.
Well, I disagree.
This is all experience based there.
No, but I'm just saying, everything can change with tone, bro, and frequency. Just like when you're in an
Can you give me
elevator, the
any type
reason
of scientific
they
evidence
play slow music in an elevator in case you get stuck, so you don't flip out, bro, because it controls, bro. Just like colorology, that's why every fast food restaurant is red and yellow because it controls. Just like Iowa, their university, their locker room for the visiting team is pink because it controls. Like it's colorology, it's all sounds, everything is
God,
a
dude.
sound, frequency, and vibration, bro.
So what you mean by control is just like influence, which is fundamentally different from what I would typically mean by control.
Okay. Well, I'll give you that one.
Right? Because if I
It
influence you right
influences.
now by making an argument, that doesn't mean I'm controlling you. Right? I
No,
think I
you're
would make a
right.
very clear
Okay.
distinction between those two types of
Okay,
attitudes.
I'll give you that. Okay, there's the distinction. Like instead of being on topic of what I'm saying, all right, you're right about the control act. You like to be right, so do I.
I'm not,
But
I'm
the
not
point
trying
is,
to, I'd
it's
like to be
real.
right. I'm just saying that this is how it makes sense to me.
Called spelling.
Good morning.
Letters together are called spelling, man. There's a reason for
morning.
that. English is one of the last formed languages. Called spelling.
Good morning.
Letters together are called spelling, man. There's a reason for that.
morning.
English is one of the last.
Hey everyone, if you're going to help me get any video out ever on this app, let it be this one, as I think this is a great idea for a live. If there's
Evidence, right? Because we want to identify a meaningful relationship between variables.
Okay. So
Okay, you
back
can't do
to
that just by a normal
Okay,
experience.
we went off way right and left, but back to the Trump situation, right? See, now
Do
we
you
just
understand
bullshit.
that whether or not you consider that you need evidence to make a claim be true is relevant to whether or not you support Trump, right? Because if your basis for your claim is that you don't look for evidence to support people, well, then yeah, you can hold to Trump,
I
but
do
then
look
it's
for
also that
evidence
you
to
can hold to
support
Stewie Griffin
Trump.
as president of the United States.
Because look what Biden
Stewie,
did to the country.
2024.
You heard? Look what Biden did to the country, bro. Him and his son are child molesters, bro.
Can
They're
you give me
on
evidence?
Epstein's
Wait,
log,
hold
bro.
up. Can you give me evidence of that claim?
Yeah, it's on Epstein's log, bro.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean. So Trump is also there, right?
Yeah, but Trump was on there beforehand.
So is he also one? Is he also one?
Look. Let me
Wait.
speak,
You
bro.
said that they're on that list.
I am,
Therefore,
but I'm about to speak. You just asked a question, and I'm about to speak. The conversation goes two ways, right?
no. It
All right, so Trump was on the log, right? This was early 2000s. And then when he had his own club down in Florida, he had black people and Jewish people was the only club that were allowed in. And then when Epstein was in there, he made a pass at a 14-year-old girl to where him and Epstein became distant from each other. So he distanced himself from Epstein. Not only did he distance himself, but the Bidens work with them, bro. Like, Come on, man. Like, you know this. Why do I
What?
have to tell it? You should know this.
I don't even know what you just said. Right?
I just said.
Can you go
that
back over
Trump,
that?
I said Trump had a club in Florida where everyone said he was racist. That was a lie, bro. Because I listened to hip hop in the '90s, bro. He's on Wu-Tang's, everyone's albums, and he was with everybody, bro. The moment he became a Republican, he became a
Because
racist.
you let
to everybody.
people.
Bro, yeah.
Just because
no.
you let people into a place doesn't mean you're not racist.
He
You understand that, right?
donated to the NAACP thousands of time over. He supported Jesse Jackson's president's run. Dude, no, he's not a racist, bro.
Just because you've given money to people, that also doesn't mean you're not racist.
So why all of a sudden he became a racist when he became a Republican, but when he was a Democrat, everybody loved him?
He was racist then.
No, he wasn't, bro.
Yeah, he was.
He
And I
wouldn't
also
have been on
consider
Method
wait, I
Man's
also
album
consider
if he
wait,
was
hold
racist,
up.
bro.
Hold up. I also consider Biden to be racist, right? So like I'm
Well,
not just
Biden
like
is
saying
a clear racist.
Can you please let
he
me finish?
says a lot.
I'm not. Well, if you think that Biden's a clear racist and you can't fucking say that Trump is a clear racist, you're fucking biased. You have preconceived biases.
No, I'm
Get a
not,
fucking
because
grip
I
on
didn't vote
reality.
for Trump, dude.
Please acquaint yourself with reality. Please actually acquaint yourself with reality. Do you not know that
I
Trump
do, every day.
literally claimed that the Central Park Five should have gotten the death penalty when they were exonerated?
Bro, that doesn't mean so that makes him a racist.
And he never apologized for that. He never went back on that.
So just because that you don't like something of a different color, a person, or does something doesn't make you a racist, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Just say, bro.
I just said a whole bunch of shit.
Who is
Like,
of a different race?
white
That doesn't
man
mean that.
I'm out here and I'll fight
What?
any person in this world,
Did you
bro.
hear
It doesn't
yourself?
matter the color.
Did this
Yeah,
guy,
bro.
Did this guy hear himself?
I heard that through the headset. That was
I heard myself.
that was a wild.
Just because a person that does something to you or you didn't like that isn't a different color doesn't make you a racist against everyone in that color, bro.
Oh my gosh!
What are you talking about?
Again, so like you were. It was on the basis of that, right? That's the claim, right? But so you're just
I
trying
don't
to
need
make a claim.
co-signers either, bro. You know what I mean?
What's that?
So I don't need co-signers, bro.
What do you mean you don't need co-signers?
You got a co-signer in the back, bro. You got to talk to. I don't need that.
A
I'm sitting here
co-signer
by
in the
myself,
back.
brother.
I just have a friend that I was. What? He's literally editing.
As a co-signer, bro.
What do you mean?
What's
What
that
do you mean by
sound like it means?
co-signer?
Like you need a cheerleader in the back helping you out, bro. What are you doing? This is a
Need
conversation
one?
between
He just
me and you,
happens
and
to
not
be
none
here.
of your herb ass buddies, brother.
What are you talking about, bro? He's getting angry that I asked.
I'm not angry at all, man. I'm just,
Bro, he's
I'm
just
not
getting
angry.
emotional. Hey man, can you breathe
I
in and out?
am not emotional. You couldn't bring emotion out of me if you tried, bro.
Well, I don't know why you're responding that way then, bro. Like seriously, like what?
Because
what?
you look
I literally
away.
just
Like,
I literally just
that's
said hi to
emotion
him.
to you, bro. You're emotional. You turn away, it's
I'm emotional?
laughing. Like that's a term of emotion, bro. You
Okay,
turn away laughing like
so
something's funny
whenever
'cause it
I do
irritated you.
something, it's emotional. Whenever he does something, nothing. No matter what he does, it's not
Likewise,
emotional.
brother. What you just sit here and say? It's the same thing, bro. Pointing fingers in the mirror, brother.
Pointing fingers in the. What do you mean I'm pointing fingers in the mirror?
Because you sit here and you say, "Oh, he's emotional," but yet you're doing the same fucking thing to him emotional, bro. It ain't no thing, bro.
What do you mean by emotional then? Because
Turn it
what I'm
around.
referring
Look,
to in
we're
this
in the middle of a
context.
conversation
Wait,
as
hey,
men, and
BJ,
we turn.
BJ. What I mean
Yeah.
in this context is that you're being extraordinarily defensive, right? For literally me just doing something basic,
I'm
like
not being
saying something to my
defensive.
friend, right? That's it. Like that's what I'm trying to say, right? Does
You
that
turn
make
around
sense?
and get a cosign from somebody to try to clown somebody. That's what you're trying to do, bro. You try to clown,
Cosign?
bro.
If I want to get a cosign, I can clown you in the chat, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you clown me in the chat because you wouldn't do
He
it in
literally
my face.
responded to it. I looked over at his response. Like, what are you talking about? Should I just ignore him? You're like, Dean, let me
No, man.
ignore you
Like I
next
said,
time.
we talking about dumb shit now, bro. You go back to the
Yeah,
Trump
because
shit.
you're
man.
the one who changed it. You derailed.
No, because you keep going off on your little soliloquies, bro. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Soliloquy, bro. Let's.
What? What is that?
What? I don't know. Why don't you look it up? You're the one with all the big words. Look it up.
What word is that?
Soliloquy?
Yeah. What
Look
do you
it
what
up.
do you mean by that? Can you just tell me?
Your little rants that you go on, bro. You know what I mean? It's all right, though.
That's
Stay
a
on topic.
rant. No, I've
Stay on
never heard
topic.
someone use that word in my life. That's a real word.
All right. Well, go look it up. Google it. Since you got a friend over there co-signing, have him in the back. Google it.
Dude, he's editing, bro.
Oh, he can edit that. Edit the soliloquy.
It's from Shakespeare, lol. Okay, so you had to reach back to the 1400s for that one.
Oh, Oh, now you know what it is, huh?
No, someone in
Come
the chat
on,
said
bro.
it.
Come on, bro. All I'm saying is Trump runs a corporation. He's a businessman. He taught us about beating taxes. He was telling everybody what he did to beat taxes. People had to get him out, bro. He didn't want to go to war with Russia. He didn't want to do things that everybody wants to go. People don't like him because he's against gay marriage. If all the Republicans sat around and said, you know what, you can kill babies all you want, they would win every election. Because Democrats, who I was my whole damn life,
Dude, like,
never
just
did
like
nothing.
just like the terminology, dude. Okay, so do you think that a zygote, a single cell organism, is like unaliving that? Do you think that's murder?
I think anytime you have sex and you make a life form and you take it
Yeah.
out, yes, it's murder. Yeah.
So someone
Not
who has
unless-
an IUD, an intrauterine device, right? They're a murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they are, but it's basically
Well, no, but
murder
like
towards.
an IUD, not only can it prevent fertilization, but it can also prevent implantation.
if
It can prevent.
it's-
Let me please finish. It can it can prevent a fertilized egg, a single cell at conception, a human life, from implanting into uterine wall, i.e., killing it. Right, because that's going to be like a process that's not natural, killing it. Right, and that would mean that you're a murderer under your view. I don't care. It's a fucking single cell organism, right? It's
Yeah,
a
no,
single cell organism.
It's still a living life form, bro.
I
Either
don't
way
care
you
about
look at
just
it.
life. I care about sentient life, right? I care about our subjective experiences, human subjective
See,
experience.
sex-
I don't
sex
care
is meant
about
to
just
procreate.
human life.
Sex is meant to procreate. Even though we have sex for pleasure at the same point in time, it procreates. And for the people that can't procreate,
I promise you,
I'm
every
sorry
single
for-
time I've done it in my life, it was not for procreation.
I know that's the difference. I know that because if that was the case,
And that's
we'd all
true
have
for
a
almost
million
every
kids.
single person in the chat. Like, get a grip, dude. Like, come on, actually. Most of us do not use it in the context of reproduction. The context of reproduction is very hyper-specific to particular scenarios of us wanting to develop families. That's why we have an idea that teen pregnancy is bad, because it is the case that it's unwanted. It's not something that they planned for. If it was something that it's planned for,
No,
it's a
because
good thing.
me and
People
you-
are like,
me
oh, I'm
and you
happy
have
for you.
sex for
You're
sport,
pregnant,
see?
right? But when we relate to teens, we're like, oh, I'm not happy for that because it is the case that it's unwanted. Whereas whenever it's planned, again, they wanted it, happy.
Now, me and you have sex for sport. We're men. That's what men do. Women
Sport?
don't.
No,
Women
no, I
cannot.
don't have sex for sport. I would that would be in the context of an emotional connection. If you think that
No,
it's
it's not.
sport,
That's
I
what
think that
makes it
actually
not an
degrades. Hold up,
emotional
please stop.
connection,
Please
bro.
stop. Please
No,
stop.
because you stop.
You
You stop.
calling it sport, I think, actually degrades society and is extraordinarily derogatory.
degrade
right,
the
as it would
society.
relate to. Let me
I don't care
explain.
what you think.
It absolutely. Well, you don't care what I think. Then why are you on my live right now?
Because this is fun. This is what I do.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun to not
To
engage with
debate.
anything. It's fun to
debate.
So let me. Okay,
Just
sure.
like you're
but
doing
you're not
every day
debating,
that
right?
you're on here, always
you're just
debating with
positing.
people.
No, you're not debating. You're positing your own side, and you're not actually like engaging
You do the
together.
same thing.
Right?
What
But
the
no,
hell
I
do you
actually
mean?
do. I actually legitimately engage with everything that's on here. Right? You're just not. You're not a tenable. You don't have a tenable position. So I'm not going to accept anything that you're saying because you don't have a tenable position. Right? Other people who have tenable positions, I will accept it because they'll give good reason, good evidence, good justification for their claims. Okay, I can actually see through the bullshit when it relates to that. You
All right,
saying
well,
that sex
men are
specifically. Hold on, let me finish.
polygamous
No,
by nature, are we
no,
not?
no, they're not. No, they're not. Can you? So
Yes,
you
we
saying,
are.
No, they're not. So you have no evidence of that scientifically at all?
Yes, I
So
do.
can you give me some? No. So let
What
me
do you
relate to
mean?
this. Let me relate to this.
Because
so
sex
you refer to.
doesn't
Can I
mean
please?
nothing
Can
to
you please
men,
stop
bro.
talking, BJ?
You just asked me to give you evidence and you talked over me.
Well, because I'm still finishing the fucking claim, right? Because I want you to give me evidence for that. You referring to like sex as sport, right? I think degrades the idea behind sex in the first place because it makes you necessarily depersonalize the emotional connection, right, or the consent that relates to that specifically, right? Because it doesn't relate to the idea in which it's just a game, right? You're playing it as if it's a game, right? These relate to people's emotions. These relate to people's livelihoods, right? These things are very important for people, right? So I do think that it's important for us as a society to recognize that because when we relate to other types of things, it's not just going to be a violation of consent. Like if someone just like, someone like takes one of my Cokes from my fridge, that's going to be significantly different than if they violate my consent when it relates to this scenario. And why do we acknowledge that? It's because there's something deeply emotional and intimate when it relates to engaging in intercourse. And you depersonalize that when you say things like, we engage in it like for sport. Gonna mute yourself, by the way. He's not unmuting everyone, but in the meantime, everyone tap that screen. Let's try to get to 150,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, everyone share the live copy link, send it to a few friends, y'all.
You see man prostitutes walking around, bro, and women rolling up and getting.
Yes.
You do? Where do you see these at?
There are some that exist. I'm not saying it's as prevalent, but there are some that exist.
There's outliers. There's a less than 1% chance of that shit happening, but there's some that do exist.
There's less than 1% chance of that happening as well because it's illegal in most places other than fucking Las Vegas in the United States, or it's decriminalized in some areas.
I'm just saying it's in every city though. It's in every city though. No matter if it's illegal or not.
No, what are you talking about? Where?
I'm just saying right now, men don't care for sex like women care for sex. Men don't connect like women connect through sex, even though it's a sexual energy of exchange.
Men do.
No,
You've just been socialized to think otherwise.
No, I haven't been socialized to think otherwise. I just had sex with women where I busted nuts and came to reality and said, you know what? I don't like this chick. I'm trying to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, so
that's what most men
terrible.
do.
No, that's terrible.
No, it's because what we see, we're attracted to. That doesn't mean that we like them like that.
You know what's crazy? It's because before you actually decided to engage in intercourse with someone, you didn't even try to see if you even cared about them first.
No, that's right.
That's the fucking issue, actually, right? That's what happens because people.
Bro.
Let me. Yes, and that's a fucking issue. That means you don't reflect upon your own behavior. That
You're
means you don't
saying
engage.
but I'm talking about the majority of men, though. You're talking about how you
Let me
feel.
explain.
I'm talking about this man shit, not some feminine man shit. I'm talking about man.
What do you
shit.
mean feminine man shit? What are you talking about? What do you mean like reflecting upon your behavior is feminine?
Most men don't connect through sex.
Hold up, if that's feminine,
yeah, it is.
Please,
if you're connecting through
he
sex,
just doesn't stop yapping.
Well, you don't stop yapping, bro. So I got to try to talk before you speak for 5 minutes, and I forget my train of thought. What you mean? So most men don't think through sex, bro. We don't connect through sex. We connect through other things, not through sex. Women connect through sex, not us. That's why women ain't supposed to have a high body count.
Of course, you hold
but
that fucking
all
belief
through
too.
time, leaders had multiple wives.
It's all fucking bullshit. So
you
saying that men don't emotionally connect,
husbands.
Dude, hold up. That's because of how society has said that it's wrong for women to do this, whereas it's okay for this to happen with men. And you don't see that with men either, right? Because it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's not even necessarily legal in the United States, right? To have multiple different wives at once or multiple.
It depends on your beliefs.
No. I actually don't know. I have to check. That might be a different country that I'm thinking about.
Polygamy is legal in your beliefs.
Okay. Yappinators Anonymous, please be quiet for a second, okay?
Jeez, dude, you speak 1,000 words a minute.
My bad. Let me slow down for you.
You don't gotta slow down, but just don't be cutting me off and then trying to speak over me. It's the same thing. Go ahead.
Well, you are saying these fucking crazy things, right? You're saying that men don't develop any emotional connection when it relates to engaging in intercourse. That's clearly false.
Of them, no.
You've
most
just been
no.
social. So again, you literally talk over me every single time I speak, right? You're saying most don't. It absolutely is the case that most people do. It's just repressed, okay? It is the case that there is some type of element that relates to that. I'm not saying every single time you engage in intercourse, you develop an emotional connection, but I'm saying that there's an intimate connection when you do engage in that most times, right? That would be my idea, or that can be developed from that. But a lot of the times, because how society has taught men how to feel about these types of altercations, it is the case that they don't develop these types of things. Secondly, also, you don't actually have any type of reflection process to see whether or not you actually truly like someone before you engage with them intimately or engage in intercourse with them. That's actually why when you engage in intercourse with them and then after it's over, you're like, oh my God, I didn't actually connect with them. That's because you didn't actually reflect upon your behavior to connect with them in the first place, and instead you engaged in intercourse with them before meeting that point. And then you actually then after that degraded women for doing the exact same thing.
92.
You said that a woman having a high body count is going to be a bad thing, right? Do you not understand that, again, that specific thing also relates to you as well then?
No, it don't.
Yeah,
because
exactly. You have no clue.
Men are conquerors, bro.
That is bullshit. That is bullshit, misogynistic shit. That's actually misogyny.
That's why matriarchs don't exist and patriarchs do, bro.
Patriarchy is misogyny, right? You understand that the living embodiment of patriarchy. Patriarchy is the suppression of women.
You sound like a misandrist, bro.
No, I'm not. What?
That's what it sounds like to you.
No, I believe in an equitable society,
bro. That word, bro, is handed down by feminists, bro.
Come on, bro. Okay. Yeah, so feminism W. Can we get a W for feminism in the chat, everyone? Can we get a W for feminism? I don't know why he's associating.
I like feminists. I think feminists are great.
Hold up. Why are we associating misandry with feminism when it is the case that you could be a feminist without engaging in things that you would consider like misandry?
No, because misogyny is a word made up by the feminists saying that we hate them, bro.
Every word is made up, my guy. Every word is made up.
No shit. So you use it because you're talking about it in a feminist way, and you're a man, so which makes you a beta.
Being a feminist as a man makes you a beta. Okay, are you against women not having the right to vote?
No.
You think women should not have the right to vote?
No, I think women should have the right to vote.
Okay, so then you're a feminist, dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. I said I was.
Holy shit, then you're a beta?
No, I'm not a beta.
Oh my god.
I'm an alpha.
Dude, this guy's
Which
so
means if you
delulu.
were in my face, you wouldn't disrespect me.
Yes, I
and
would.
you probably- and
I would
you would probably
disrespect you.
back down
And I'm doing it
because
right
I put
now.
my hands
Turn your
on
camera
you.
on right now. I'll do it right now to your face.
No, you would. That's not to my face. That's on computer, bro. If I was
I'll do it
standing
in
face to
face too.
face
I don't
with you
care. I
and
don't
you
care. What are you gonna
disrespected me,
do?
I'd put my hands on you.
You would?
And you'd
You would,
probably
so
run to
you're
the
threatening
cops.
me.
No,
So you
I'm
get so-
saying I'm
so
giving you
emotional.
I'm giving you a
He's
scenario.
threatening me, chat. He's literally threatening me, dude.
No, I'm not, man. I
You
gave
just
you
did.
I gave you a. I said if we were face to face, I didn't say I'm coming to your house and I'm gonna do something to you. I said if we were face to face, nose to nose like men, and you disrespected me, I'd probably put my hands on you.
That's
And you
literally a
wouldn't do-
threat. That's
No,
literally
it's
a
not.
threat, dude. He's
It's
so
not a
delulu.
threat.
He can't
It's
reflect
not a
upon his own
threat.
behavior to understand that's a threat.
It's not a
dude,
threat.
Put two and two together, my guy. That is absolutely
It's not
a
a threat. I would
Yes,
say
it
what
is.
would happen. It's not a threat.
That you're
Threat is
You're
me
just an
saying where
emotional
you
man,
live,
my
I'm gonna
guy.
come get you
You're
now.
so emotional that you have to
No,
resort to
I'm not.
violence to be
The
able to
world
handle
is emotional.
your intellectual
What do you think's
disputes.
happening in Israel and Palestine right now,
hey,
bro?
Hey,
the
I'm
land
just
that
gonna
you live
he's
on,
just, like,
right?
screaming, dude. Right? Handle your intellectual disputes on the basis of intellectualism, on the basis of conversation, on the basis of debate. Don't do it on the basis of violence. Right? This is literally caveman mentality. Right? I have to resort to violence to like handle this dispute. Use your fucking brain. Are you rational for no reason? You're just not going to use your brain? Okay, I'm assuming too much. Sorry, I shouldn't make that assumption that you're rational.
Other people are fighting and dying for you. Right now, there's a war going on. Our armies
didn't hear a
everywhere.
single word he said.
It's built on violence. The land you live on was built on violence, bro, but yet you scared of it.
Hey,
That makes you soft.
actually, what you would relate to in that scenario,
That makes you soft,
right, is
dog.
that there would be a necessity to like respond to people in that way because they're responding to you in that way, self-defense. Whereas
No,
when it
I'm
relates
just
to
saying,
hold
you
up,
can
hold up,
have
hold up, hold
self-defense all
up.
you want.
Whereas when it relates to this particularly, you would be aggressing in the behavior. I think the aggressing in the behavior is bad. I don't think that the self-defense is bad.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, physical contact is physical contact.
No, it's not.
Well, the America was taken
not
by
in the
aggression.
same way. Okay, wait. Actually, well, so physical contact is physical contact, but what you're trying to insinuate by that claim is that they are equivalent, right?
So you love this country so much, yet
Please let me
it was
finish.
taken by-
Self-defense
Go
is not self-defense. Physical violence when it relates to self-defense is not as bad as physical violence when it relates to aggressing in behavior. If I just go up to you and I punch you, that's a bad thing. If you try to punch me and I do that in response, that's gonna be way better. If someone is trying to unalive me and I unalive them to save myself and to save my family, the unaliving of them just unprovoked would be bad, but
I'm
doing
not
that in
trying
self-defense
to
is
kill
good.
or whatever,
right? Or
unalive
okay.
anybody, brother. Huh? I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to unalive somebody, bro, just by putting physical pain on somebody.
No. I
What's
didn't
the
say you
difference?
are. I didn't say you are. I was giving an analogy. Holy shit.
I know.
Abstractly
So,
think for once.
My point is this, is the land that you live on is taken by violence, bro. The freedoms that you have, that you're running around here with, debating with people all the time, is protected by violence, bro, and aggression. Because our army is stationed in every country, aggressing other countries.
Not every country.
Damn near.
Yeah, are we in North
Oh,
Korea?
yeah, that's right. Well, Biden's ain't allowed in certain countries now. You know what I mean? The Bidens
No.
ain't allowed in Africa.
Are we
you
in
know what I
North?
mean?
Are military operatives of the U.S. in North Korea?
No, we're not.
No. Okay, so we're not in
Well,
every
we're
country
not in
the
every
world.
country, but we're in predominantly a lot, bro.
We're in a lot. I agree, right? But again, I'm not disputing those types of ideas, right? But you're relating to here is specifically that instead of disputing, right, what I'm saying to you, the disrespect that I would be giving to you if I was giving you disrespect, right?
No, that was just a
like
scenario,
using
bro.
intellectualism or without
That was
or
just
by
a
calling out the
scenario.
behavior, instead you said that you would resort to like hurting me.
No. I was bringing a scenario out. I wasn't
Yeah,
threatening you.
which is a threat.
You-
Which is a threat.
No,
If I bring
it's not.
okay, so let me do the same thing to you, right? So if you disrespected me, what I would do to you is I would show you this level of pain. I would send you to this eternal set of hell, right?
So
where
what's
you
the difference
suffer,
between
right?
mental pain or physical pain?
Wait, what?
What's the difference between mental pain and physical pain?
Mental pain is a form of physical pain.
Is it?
Yes.
So you don't think words hurt just like a physical punch to the face would hurt?
They can hurt within certain contexts, right? Emotionally. I'm
Yeah,
not disputing that.
Yeah, you can't dispute that because your words are like punches to some people.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
do you think that it's okay to hit someone though, right? Unprovoked.
Yes, I do. Boxer, bro. I box. I'd still hit people to
We're
this
not.
day. What you mean?
That's consentful. Boxing is consenting.
It's still punching people. I still do it, and I still get punched.
I said
don't mind it.
unprovoked, my guy.
I played football my whole life. Well, I believe if somebody disrespects you, yeah, you take care of business, bro. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you hit them. It means you stop engaging with them. If they disrespect you, just don't engage.
I also believe that you spank your kid too.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb too. You have terrible beliefs across the board. No, I think that's absolutely disgusting.
It's not dumb.
The fact that you think that you should hit the most innocent people in our society. It is not required to hit children. Actually hitting them leads to.
I didn't say beat them.
I can send you. Well, that is actually hitting them. Hitting them is a form of beating them. But like, let me relate to this. Right, God. Specifically, okay, I can actually show you multiple different studies that indicate that the outcomes from other types of physical abuse and spanking have the exact same types of outcomes when it relates to childhood development. So if you consider other types of hitting, if you consider other types of hitting to be abuse, but you don't consider spanking to be abuse, I would just ask you what's the relevant distinction between the two that means that one is abuse and the other one's not, because they have the exact same types of outcomes when it relates to childhood development.
Because fear is better than respect, because you don't disrespect what you fear. And if a little kid goes and touches the stove and the shit hurts and burns his hand,
disrespect what
he
you
knows
fear.
not to touch it again.
Wait. You do disrespect what you fear. You do in your head, and you do it not in front of them.
No, you don't.
Still do it in the shadows, right? But the idea is that you don't disrespect an individual that you don't disrespect an individual that you respect, that you look up to, that you want to emulate. And as a parent,
Everyone
you should be what your parent.
Everybody.
I'm just gonna mute you, dude. He just keeps talking. As a parent, you should be the one that is showing your kid what they should emulate. What's the ideal behavior that you should act as, and you do not show that ideal behavior. Right? You show the complete opposite of that. If you were the example that my kid was going to be taught, I think my kid would end out in a bad circumstance. Right? I think that my kid should be shown real ideals, real values, real actual systems that can allow them to engage equally with other people in the world, rather than a notion of, oh, this person has to fear me, or I have to have power over this person. Right? These are literally fucking primitive concepts that you still hold to because you don't want to fucking progress. People are saying Parker needs to get a job. Literally, look at my account name. This is how common you are. You're just an NPC. Actually comical, chat. It's actually comical. Yo, are you gonna unmute, bro? BJ, bro. BJ. Hello. Hello? Hello? It's me. I was wondering if you're gonna fucking unmute your mic. I invited you. Okay. Yeah, he's not aware. I don't know what he could do, everyone. Tap the screen in the meantime. We'll try to get to 150,000 likes. If you want to help get it out to more people, everyone, share the live, copy link, send it to a few friends as well. If you do want to support me, Venmo, Cash App in the bio, everyone. If you do like this content, follow me if you haven't already, everyone. We're probably going to get on to the next person here real quick if he doesn't unmute. Yeah, I muted him. He literally didn't stop talking. I invited him. Yeah. If you're a host at all at some point, you do have to mute people on your live if they are constantly doing stuff like that. There's no productive conversation unless, all right, I mean, if that's the case. He probably still is talking. BJ, hello, bro. BJ, I'm inviting you again to unmute yourself. If you don't unmute in the next 15, 20
I am here,
there you go.
bro. You can hear me now?
Yep.
You unmuted me, bro. So you know what I'm saying? You muted me, bro.
Yeah,
you know
I invited you and you didn't unmute yourself. I told you could unmute yourself.
I hit the button. Yes, I did, bro. But my question is, do you have children? Because you're going to say what you would do if. But if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. So what?
My parents would say the same thing.
Well, this is the difference. There's kids that go over and fight overseas for you, and there's kids that sit on the internet and debate all day. There's a difference. Because those aggressive mother lovers that
are you fighting overseas?
No, but I would have.
No, okay, so dude, get a grip.
So look, just like the cops that you call, bro. Here's a scenario. Say an aggressor punched you in the face. So you call a cop. That cop that comes to your house is that same primitive dude to save you, bro. That you're over here talking about primitive. Because there ain't no one that's soft that's going to stop an aggression.
They're resorting to violence to protect. not to initiate
It
aggression.
doesn't matter.
That is the
means
distinction. That is the fundamental distinction.
that means they're
Because if you
aggressive
don't
enough to
understand that,
do it.
hold up. If you don't understand the distinction between self-defense and between initiating aggression, right? Then I have literally no way to show you this, because it's violating someone else's
that.
rights
I do
versus
understand that.
protecting someone's rights. Do you understand
I
the
do
distinction
understand
between
that,
those two?
but there's a dude that I'm trying to say that I believe you would be. You wouldn't protect yourself. You'd call the cops. There's a difference in
I would protect
self-protection.
myself. What are you talking about?
I don't believe it.
What?
Because you don't.
So I wouldn't do anything to protect myself. You think that?
No, I don't know. You call the cops. That's protecting yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is an aspect of protecting
You'd have
yourself.
somebody else to do it for you, like the army
That can be
does
part
for
of it,
you.
sure. Yeah,
Or like the cops will do it for you.
Like, for example, right? If there's a school unaliver, right, at my school, yeah, I'm gonna call the fucking cops. What am I gonna do?
I'm saying
do you think
now
I'm gonna
that
like fucking ninja person of interest? Fucking
if Thomas
Navy
came
SEALs,
over here to your
like,
doorstep,
assassinate
you
that
would
guy?
do
Like, what are you
nothing.
talking about, bro?
That's what I'm saying.
What am I gonna
if
do?
Thomas came to your doorstep, you'd do nothing. You'd hide in your house crying.
What am I gonna do? I'd probably get something I can use to defend myself. If I don't have anything to defend myself, what am I gonna do?
Anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying, I have kids, bro, and you spare the rod, you spoil the child, bro. This generation is spoiled.
What the
Y'all
fuck are you
spoiled and
talking about?
entitled. This whole generation is
you just think that you need to abuse children.
No, I
Like,
don't
that's fucking
abuse
crazy.
them.
What do you mean
That's
a
not
rod,
abusing
bro?
them.
You mean a fucking rod? That's
No,
disgusting.
it's a saying. It's a saying. I never hit my kids with anything but my
fucking
hand,
saying
bro.
from an abusive
and I
generation.
put my foot in my kid's ass
That's a
right in
saying from an
public in
abusive
front of you,
generation.
man.
That's because people were fucking abused.
That's
Slavery
not
was abusive,
abused, bro.
This was abusive. This is the same shit they
I
use in
was
slavery.
punished as well. Y'all are just soft. That's all.
We
You
teach
can
1
cut
plus
your
1 equaling 2.
genitalia off and all that,
We
bro.
teach 1 plus 1 equaling 2 as well. What's your point?
My point is, this generation is so soft. Y'all have anybody going in anybody's bathrooms. Y'all have doing everything. It's like this is a soft
What are
ass
you talking about?
generation, bro.
No.
And then when it comes to
How are these things
physicalness,
associated with being
y'all
soft?
run from it because it's soft, bro. It's soft as
How's
baby
it
turds,
soft?
dude. What do you mean? How you soft?
How is it soft to accept trans people? How is it soft to accept gay people? How is it soft to call out people like Trump for their bad behavior? Call out people
because
for
there's called
lying. Oh my
masculinity,
God,
bro.
gender neutral bathrooms.
Because there's a man that's going to go in there and he's going to do something crazy to some kid one day.
That already happens
And-
right now. That happens
Exactly.
right now. Men do it right
And
now.
They wouldn't let
already.
that stuff happen back in the day.
What are
Masculinity.
you talking about? Oh, he just got removed from community guidelines. By the way, if we look at places that have gender neutral bathrooms in like Scandinavia and whatnot, they have lower rates of sexual violence when it relates to these particular types of bathrooms than we see. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what is this idea that like if we had gender neutral bathrooms, it would be the case that there would be a greater level of violence, right? But yeah, we're going to go on to the next person. Please only do send a guest request if you disagree. They did just get community guidelines to everyone. So we're going to go on to the next person. Please only do send a guest request if you disagree, though. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. If you do also want to support me, Venmo and Cash App in the bio, everyone. I did not kick him, I promise. I never do. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
Oh, I'm well over 18.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Why so?
So, I think there's a lot of misinformation. That's a word you guys like to say. A lot of stereotypes about people who support Trump that are vastly, vastly untrue. Trump to me is someone that I applaud his policy. We were much safer as a country, as a world under Trump. He had successfully done the Abraham Accords, which were historic, making peace with Israel, the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco. We had secure borders. We did not have open borders. We did not have a fentanyl crisis. Everyone was doing better, all Americans, including the minority groups. He had tons of incentives for Black and brown communities because when everyone does better economically, we all do better as a country. And many of my friends are actually Black conservatives, gay conservatives, Asian conservatives. I think that the left-leaning media has done a real number on brainwashing many of its viewers to believe that if you support Trump, you're racist, you're homophobic.
Also, like,
That's
can you
not
explain to
true.
me what you think by an open border?
Yeah, well, let's go one by one. Abraham Accords, if it would have happened in another administration, it would have. It didn't. In fact, most administrations before were told that you cannot make peace with any other Arab countries until you solve the Arab-Palestinian issue. As we see, that has clearly not been the case. We have amazing warm peace. In fact, if you walk on the streets of the UAE right now, you will see flags for Israel. Peace is really great for everybody. And the thing that Trump brought to the table, unlike any other presidents before, is he brought an economical incentive. I mean, Israel and UAE, for example, are thriving. They are working together. They are joining business ventures together, and everyone is benefiting. And I think that is really what makes these treaties last. And again,
I'm sorry, but you're not giving me the reason why this is specific to
in terms of
Trump.
the Abraham Accords. He also succeeded in moving in the embassy to Jerusalem, which is the Jewish capital. You're
not giving me a reason to believe this is specific to Trump, which is what I originally asked you for.
The first thing I said, if it would have been done before, it would have been done before. It hasn't been. These were historic accords with other Arab nations.
So just because it hasn't been done before, right, that doesn't mean that it wouldn't have been done
That's
right,
a
under this
ridiculous
administration.
argument, but Trump did it.
No,
So you can't just say,
so for example, let me ask you
this.
this question, right? 14.8% unemployment that happened under Trump's administration. So if it wasn't for Trump, this wouldn't have happened because it didn't happen with any other president in modern history.
What I would say to you, your numbers might be incorrect because you're probably
look at the Fred.
Well, can I finish?
14.7% unemployment.
Can I finish? You might.
You really question the numbers when they come from the Fred. Hit a grip.
If I could finish my thought, Parker. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was clearly wrong.
No, I mean, if you could let me finish my thought, maybe you'll understand what I'm going to ask you. If you're including a summation, including 2020, when every country was affected because of COVID, I would ask you to look for numbers before 2020, and those numbers are more accurate.
No. I agree that would be better to look at to relate to Trump particularly. But the point that I'm actually demonstrating here is that just because these two variables are associated doesn't mean that one caused the other. And you're saying that just because it is the case,
what does unemployment have to do with Abraham Accords?
I'll explain. Just because two variables are associated, one caused the other. You're saying that specifically the reason why that it would have only happened under Trump is because it only did happen under Trump. Okay? So that I'm saying that the reason why it would only happen under Trump and when it relates to unemployment is because it did happen under Trump. You see, I'm using the exact same reasoning, yet you're forming absurd conclusions then.
No, it's completely two different things. The unemployment.
It's the same reasoning.
No, it's not. It's not, because Trump
is.
brought his insanely amazing negotiation skills to the stable
get a
of
grip.
the Middle East, and that is why it happened, him and his son-in-law.
How do you know that they're good at negotiation skills?
Because the Abraham Accords have been established and they're still working, and he was on his way.
Okay, can you please give me evidence to believe that would not have happened otherwise?
Well, can you give me evidence that it would have? I mean, that's
I have reason to believe that it could go either way when it relates to that.
No,
you're making the claim that specifically this is like, well, hold up, you're making the claim.
No president was interested in brokering peace with the Arab nations and Israel. Trump saw that there was a huge need.
Biden would. I don't know what you're talking about. Biden. I'm pretty sure Biden's pro-Israel.
Yeah, that doesn't mean the same thing. We're in this mess because of Biden. The first thing he did in his administration is he removed the sanctions of Iran. He emboldened them. He gave them the power to give money to Hamas and all of the terrorist buddies to. He wanted to.
How much money did Biden give to Israel?
Can I also tell you? No, don't change.
Did Biden give more money to Israel than Trump did?
We'll talk about that, but don't change.
No. I want you to answer the question.
No, I'm not going to answer the question.
Did Biden give more money?
No.
Did Biden give more money than Trump did?
We are not going to jump from subject to subject.
Can you please answer my question?
No, I'm finishing with Iran. I will.
Yeah. So if you don't answer my question, I'm just going to mute you until you answer the question. Get a grip.
Okay. It's not fair that you don't let me finish the point you brought up.
I don't care what you think is fair. Can you please answer the question?
Yes, America gives a significant amount of money to
Biden,
Israel,
right?
Way more than Ukraine.
More money now than
Ukraine gets way more.
Ukraine does get, that's a loan. Right now, we are giving more money to Israel than we have given under Trump's administration. Correct?
I don't know about that. I'm not
Yes.
sure about
Yes.
that. I'd have to verify that myself.
That is multiple.
I'm not going to
yes.
take your word for it. But again, so doesn't that help your cause? So Trump gave less money to Israel. So what's your point?
Yeah. So my point is, well, I'm going to say that I would actually argue that that's like conditional to like the environmental circumstances. Trump would have given probably just as much, right? If it relates to the particular time period. My idea here, when it relates to this, clearly is trying to demonstrate the idea that trying to demonstrate the idea that he would have had similar types of accords within the area as we saw under Trump. So like you making this idea,
it's completely not true.
Yeah. So can you give me any reason to believe otherwise?
And Biden is, peace through strength, war through weakness. Trump got rid of the Iran deal. Biden tried to bring it right back. What he did in Afghanistan, he destabilized the whole region. And yes.
Wait, what about Trump killing General Soleimani? Is that not provoking Iran?
Yeah, no, that's just and then Osama and Biden and Osama bin Laden, Obama killing Osama bin Laden. That's fine.
Wait, but that's due to like something like, okay,
what?
You understand
You're
that's
like jumping everywhere. Like
I'm not jumping everywhere. I'm trying to specifically relate to this. That's not due to like someone that's like within the governmental field that could then provoke some type of war. That's totally different because of that reason. If we're talking military operatives, people who are like top generals, right? That's a huge distinction than someone who would be like not out in like a government that we would like engage with or have
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Last year, during the Iran Revolution, where women were being murdered because they weren't wearing the hijab, it took 5 weeks for America's Western media to report on this. Why? Because Biden did not want to call out the Iranian government for bad behavior.
What? Biden doesn't determine the media.
Who actually stand with Israel, but the government openly says death to America, death to Israel, and Biden funds them and just gave them $6 billion on 9/11 of all days.
Wait, what country? And then also Biden doesn't determine the media. I don't know where the hell you got that notion
Biden
from.
doesn't determine the media. Okay, well, if you don't believe that Biden doesn't have, well, not anymore because they want Biden out at this point. But my God,
I was going to say, so Biden's incompetent, yet he's controlling the whole media.
Wow,
he's
not,
so fucking competent and incompetent simultaneously.
Facebook, they're literally in legal. They're in a legal case with Facebook right now where it's been proven without a shadow of a doubt that the Biden administration literally dictated to Facebook and Twitter what to suppress, what not to suppress. They certainly suppressed the Hunter Biden story and any information on COVID vaccines and Wuhan.
Wait, what specific stuff did they
now.
suppress about the Hunter Biden? Because that wouldn't they just
because right before the election on Twitter and Facebook, they said it was a bogus story when in fact it couldn't be more.
It was literally nude photographs. So you think that they should have allowed the nude photographs?
Oh no, it had nothing to do with just who cares about the nude photographs. It was his shady business dealings with Burisma in Ukraine. But everything you're saying, it's now verifiable. Hunter's laptop.
If you're willing to Twitter files, that's what it was. But that's a different claim.
It's directly connected with his father.
That's different. That's not social media related.
And this is why he's being impeached. So, and it was suppressed before the election, and that's what partly rigged the election was the suppression of information, not for the American people to decide for themselves.
Okay, so like what you're doing here is we're saying that Biden is controlling all of the media in this certain scenario.
No,
right? That's exactly what you were referencing.
Let me restate it. I didn't say Biden was controlling. I said that the media is left leading and tends to cover up for Biden and does not show the whole.
No, you were saying that Biden was the one who didn't want these things to happen. So then you were making the claim that Biden was influencing that.
Oh no. Yes, the fact that he was on board with the Iran deal. I think that, yes, messages were passed to say, let's not cover the protests so heavily. Yes.
So Biden controlled all of the mass media. So he's competent enough to control all of the mass media to limit this particular story. Can I please finish?
People controlling him. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So you think that he's competent enough to control every aspect of our media to ensure that this story is not able to get out. But it is the case that particularly he is not competent enough to even get out a sentence.
He is not competent enough for anything. So
okay. So he didn't control. He didn't control it then.
It's not him. Biden.
Okay. It's not him now.
President.
It's not him now.
Competent president. Now he does have people behind him who are more competent.
Of course.
You know,
can you give me evidence of that?
I mean, if you actually saw full clips of him, have you not seen him on stage walking off, shaking people's hand in midair, walking off in the middle of ceremonies, like forgetting his thoughts mid-sentence? Do you honestly think he's
wait?
all
I
there?
forget my thoughts mid-sentence. Trump forgets
Okay.
his thoughts mid-sentence.
But
That happens
again,
with people who are in the
that's just
media
it.
for
I don't
hours every
think
single
you're
day.
seeing
You would do
what
the same
we're
thing,
seeing.
Daniela.
I don't think you're seeing what we're seeing. I think a lot of it is edited for viewership, so you don't see
All social media
how
clips are
he
edited.
really is.
Trump
I
is the
really
same
don't
thing.
believe you see.
Oh, okay, so then give me videos that show that.
I'm happy to. If you can follow me back so we can be friends, I'm happy to send you tons of stuff.
For sure. Go for it.
Happy to. And I would like to send you stuff on Israel as well. So I appreciate that. I wish it was easier to send you things while we were on the live. Believe me. I hope TikTok can maybe remedy that so we can have, I agree with you. We should always be
Like
able
a
to verify
personalized
what we're
chat.
saying.
I think a personalized chat between the person who is like on the guest box and the host might be effective for that, because then you could just like send me the link and then I could just like look at it.
I mean, you
or something.
probably know more than me. I don't know this app as well as you do, but I think it would be a great idea. I think we should probably see what each other have been seeing. I think many of us live in parallel universes where we're fed certain narratives and we have no idea what the other side is seeing. And it's very important that we have all information so we can make up our own minds. And I do think the media is at fault for that. I think polarization is a big problem in our country. And I'm a former liberal, Parker. I voted for Obama twice.
I used to support
I'm more
Trump.
of a moderate, but based on what I've seen in the last several years with the double standards, I mean, one example with the BLM riots versus January 6th, I think there is so much double standard going on that it makes people
Why didn't you say January 6th riot?
Well,
said BLM riots, but didn't say January 6th riots. Come on, get a grip.
Wasn't. It was again. There were people who were acted out of line, and they should.
Oh,
be
same
in
thing with
jail.
BLM.
But you
Same thing with
cannot
BLM.
compare it to the BLM riots that destroyed billions and billions of dollars of properties and businesses.
Wait, that's just because it
and
was
no one got
extended over
arrested.
longer periods of time. Do you understand that January 6th literally was at our Capitol building and led to deaths of individuals? So the same types of things happens in that scenario?
It led to one death of a patriot who was shot unarmed, and it was a police officer who died the next day. So again, 2 deaths compared to many more from BLM. No
And that's
consequences.
one event, by the way.
No billions of dollars in damage to federal buildings. To
Wait, so if there's one event and out of that one event...
One more thing. Kamala Harris herself was like, let's bail out these people. That would never fly if this came from the right. If there were riots that came from MAGA patriots and they destroyed businesses and federal buildings, it would never fly. So there's such a double standard that it made people like myself, who used to be passionate liberals, wake up. I am still pro-choice. I have no issue with gay marriage. I still have a lot of liberal values. But once I saw the double standards and the narrative and the vilifying of half the country, and now what they're doing to Israel, that's what made me wake up.
Okay, so I just want to call out this utter hypocrisy here, because it is the case that 1 out of 1 event had a riot when it relates to January 6th, but when you relate to 3 to 6 out of every 100 protests, when it relates to the BLM protests, right, led to a riot, then you classify the BLM riots as riots and not January 6th as a riot, even though 1 out of 1 is 100%, right, and 3 to 6 out of 100 is 3 to 6%. You understand that's hypocrisy?
Talking about. I know there was one incident on January 6th. There were several riots from BLM with far more damage and consequences.
3 to 6%.
You can give me numbers
3 to
all day long.
6%.
I saw what I saw. I mean,
3 to 6%.
Okay.
And you called them riots, but you didn't refer to the 100%, the 1 out of 1, January 6th,
100%?
as a riot.
I had friends at the January 6th.
And it was a riot, was it not?
No, it was. There was. Do you know?
No,
how many
if
people
it
were
wasn't,
there?
if it wasn't,
Do you
then
know how
January.
many people
Wait.
were there?
If
Do
it
you know how
wasn't,
they
if it
let
wasn't, then
in
the Black
people in
Lives
the
Matter
Capitol,
protests were not a
they
riot
let
either.
them in. There was one part that got
Then it
out
wasn't a riot. Then it
and
was
they
not a
were
riot.
arrested, but it was certainly not a gathering of a riot. Okay, there were
okay, so then- so
families
then-
there. There were
oh,
millions of people.
same thing
There
with
was
Black Lives Matter
Hundreds
protests.
of thousands of people there.
Same thing with protests, the Black Lives Matter protests. You know how many people, tens of millions of people around the U.S. went to Black Lives Matter protests?
Okay, do you
Tens
know
of
all the
millions.
damage that was done to all of the?
Do you know the damage that was done when it relates to January
streets?
6th? We're talking.
You can't even
hold up,
compare
can you
the
please-
two.
Yes, the reason why I'm comparing is because we're talking about proportionalities, right? The amount of people that were involved in the
Right,
Black Lives Matter
proportionalities.
protests significantly outweighs that of January 6th. So when we're looking at this and we're trying to compare it, we should compare on the basis of proportions, right? That's the only way that we can compare these. If you don't base it on proportions, well, then we're going to get huge, absurd conclusions, right?
Okay, so then do it with property damage and deaths and see which one was more proportionate.
Yeah. So if we talk, I don't have the proportions for
Okay,
property
how
damage.
convenient. Okay.
What do you mean? I just haven't seen that. Do you have that evidence?
I don't understand. Like, are you literally saying?
I know the rate of
BLM
violence. That doesn't mean I'm going to know every characteristic.
Proportionately caused less damage and less deaths than January 6th?
Yeah, I know that there was less rate of violence when it relates to Black Lives Matter protests, when it relates to proportions, than if we refer to the one event in terms of January 6th. Because the one event in terms of January 6th had that a part of it, whereas every single event when it relates to Black Lives Matter protests clearly did not.
Okay, well, again, if you need to believe that, I mean, again, this
I don't
is
need
how
to
you-
believe it.
this is how you
It's
water
true.
down the truth.
It's
This is
true.
how you water down-
No. I'm not watering down anything, right? This is bullshit for you to sit here and claim that I'm watering it down when I'm
But
fucking,
you
first of
are.
all,
I mean,
be quiet for a second. Be quiet for a second. Please. I am literally giving you the basis to engage with all these talking points. I'm giving you the basis to engage back and forth, open-minded when it relates to this topic. And you're simply just trying to poison the well, right? By saying that I'm not trying to engage or that I'm just trying to like specify this particular information. If I was doing that, I would engage so much differently than I am in terms of letting you speak, letting you engage, letting you get your opinions out. Do you understand there's a complete distinction between the way that someone who's trying to control the narrative versus the way that I'm actually trying to engage with the concepts now?
I mean, you have your point of view, I have mine, and we're having a dialogue.
Okay, but how did you portray it? You portrayed it as I was trying to push a particular narrative, as I'm not trying to look at the other side, whereas I'm specifically allowing you to speak. I'm engaging with everything that you're having to say. I'm engaging
but
very
you're
openly with these
saying
things.
Proportionality, and then when I ask you point blank the questions of proportion in terms of property damage and death.
I didn't know about one, and you just
Yeah.
freaked out because I didn't know one.
No, but you were saying how important that was, so I was just drawing to your attention.
Yeah, that would be important to look at when it relates to that, but I was looking at the level of violence. The level of violence could indicate to us the likelihood of different things, like whether or not those things happen, because that would be related to violence. But the violence characteristic, the statistic when it relates to violence, is probably the most important aspect to relate to, because you were relating to the idea of whether or not it was considerably a riot. And whether or not it's considerably a riot would be based upon whether or not there was violence.
Yeah. Okay, but going further, I have friends who have zero anything on their records, and they are still held in solitary confinement to this day, 2 years later, without really a trial. Whereas we've had two insurrections, we've had tons of people storming the Capitol.
She just got a call. She just got a call. Everyone. In the meantime, tap that screen. Everyone.
Just got a call.
You have? Do you have an echo?
Let me call you. Let me call out.
No. Just swipe out and swipe back in. That's all you have to do now. Swipe out, swipe back in. In the meantime, though, tap that screen. Let's try to get to 250,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, everyone share the live. Copy link, send it to a few friends. Plus, everyone, if you want to support me, Venmo and Cash App's in the bio, everyone. I get the unmute that you got it.
Okay, that was amazing. That worked. I didn't know I could do that. Thank you.
Yep, that's how we do it now.
Okay. So there's still no arrests for the BLM rioters who did do damage and who did do deaths. And it's just, what I'm saying is, and I don't want to talk about January 6th for the next
It's
hour.
hard to determine that. They don't have as many like camera footage and other stuff like that. But I think that they should do stuff like that for people who were engaging violently.
But that's not true. There was a black security man that died in San Francisco, protecting a business. And there were several, I mean, it's been so long. I used to know their names by heart, but there were other people who died, who came to a BLM riot. And whether they were intentionally murdered or not, they were still murdered. And there's just no accountability for them. And I'm just saying it's a double standard. And there's a lot of double standards.
Wait, so there were apparently lots of arrests, right? Which I would expect, but I wouldn't know them personally, right? Because there's not like a specific event that we're relating to. Whereas when we relate to January 6th, this is unprecedented in American history.
Okay, well, again, we are going to totally disagree on that. It was so biased, and there's a reason why half the country didn't even engage in them, because the committee was imbalanced, It was a witch hunt, just like they're continuing to do to Trump. I mean, and talk about another double standard. The declassified documents were found in Biden's residence, in his garage.
So Danielle, just to clarify, right?
Residence.
People going up to the Capitol building, breaking into the Capitol building, leading to the
so they
deaths
didn't
of
break in, they
two
were let in,
individuals,
and there's
having a they did break in. You can literally see videos of them breaking the windows. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay,
That's a
well, I
complete
don't know
lie.
why you have
Please
to
let me
swear. I can
finish.
show you
Please let me
videos of
finish.
them
I'm sorry
letting
you don't like the
everyone
swearing.
in.
Please let me finish. Okay, so they also had literally a thing that is what are they called? No, it's like those execution things, right? A guillotine. They literally had a guillotine outside. Do you understand that those things existed? There were lots of people there that were specifically there for literally trying to like unalive people there.
Can I respond?
Yeah, I stopped talking.
Yeah. So there were some bad apples there, and they broke the law, and they deserve jail time, no doubt. And I hope you feel the same way with people at the BLM riots.
Wait,
But
that's actually what my point was.
I don't feel that you've seen the footage that I've seen regarding January 6th. I don't think you've seen the police officers letting people in and how people were just peacefully walking around taking pictures. I don't think you've seen what I've seen in terms of the majority of people there wanted no chaos.
Hey, Daniel, I'm not disputing that. I never disputed that actually. Right. What I'm actually trying to demonstrate to you is the same thing's true for peaceful protests when it relates to Black Lives Matter. Significant amounts of them were peaceful. Right.
Not the
Overwhelming
ones
majority.
I saw burning buildings. I saw targets.
Well, if you look at the statistics, it was like 90. It was
markets.
94 to 96%. Like, come on.
Well, okay, but again, I think that's what you're seeing in your media, and I'm seeing
No, that's
something totally
statistics.
different.
That's statistics, right?
Statistics. I mean, again,
Danielle, we have to have some basis to go off of to be able
I
to
agree.
differentiate between our claims.
But I
we
would
can't
like
just say
to
we've
know.
heard different stories and then that's
Yeah,
it, right?
but
we
again,
have to have some sort of baseline here. And
I
the
agree.
baseline would relate to the statistics, would relate to the evidence. If
I
we have
agree.
no commonality when it relates to like actually establishing any basis of evidence, well, then we're just going to be sitting there looking at each other saying we have different opinions. Right.
I agree. We have to have a baseline, but the problem is sometimes that baseline, depending on who's putting it out, like, I don't know, for example, the CDC had statistics and they were grossly wrong later on when they were counting COVID deaths.
Wait,
the
what
FBI
statistics
had
specifically?
about domestic terrorism being
Hey,
the
before you move on to the
number
second
one
point,
in
what
America.
statistics specifically when it relates to the CDC?
Oh, when they were talking about the amount of COVID deaths being by COVID, and then they retracted that and they said, well, actually,
That was in only one specific area. Like, what are you talking about? That was not federally. That was not across the board. That was specific to like New York in that particular area, and that was fixed almost immediately. There was
No,
separated
it wasn't
data
just
between.
New York.
No,
And
there
it
was
was
separated. Wait,
national.
there was separated data between COVID deaths, or death with COVID in the system, and death from COVID. There were separated deaths that existed almost the entire time in literally almost every place in the United States.
okay. Again, that's maybe what you've been told, but that doesn't mean it's true. The CDC is no longer a reliable source because of that, because of how they documented their deaths and how they used that to
What is a reliable
enforce
source?
policy, like shutting down schools unnecessarily.
What is a reliable source?
It's hard today. I mean, I thank goodness we have someone like Elon Musk who actually has created X for free speech. So we don't have censorship. I mean, it's irrefutable that Twitter was totally imbalanced and suppressed voices from conservative points of view. I mean, that's irrefutable. And if you argue that, then I don't know where we go, because if you don't believe there's a problem with censorship in this country that's definitely leading towards conservatives, then that's part of the problem.
Sure, but I mean, I think that also conservatives support censorship too, right?
I mean, we're against hate speech. I think everyone should be against hate speech, but not free speech.
Okay. Well, then what do you mean by free? Like, what speech were they taking down that you think that they shouldn't be taking down? Because like, I'd probably agree with some things.
Well, sure. I have a list of things. So we can start with one. Anybody who had questions about the COVID vaccine and compared to natural immunity, or
I agree with you on this.
mRNA, like all those things. I have personal friends, doctors, like Marty McCary from Johns Hopkins, and Simone Gold, who's from America's Frontline Doctors, and Jeff Barkey, doctors from Stanford. They were literally.
Oh, Hold up, you just got another call, I think.
Dr. Peter McCullough. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah, Peter McCullough, Robert Malone, these people, right, are a very, very small minority of medical professionals when we're talking about internationally.
He was one of the founders of the mRNA vaccine.
No, he was not. No, he was not. He was not. You have no clue what he did. Right? He's worked.
I've read his stuff.
He worked a little bit on mRNA therapy, right? Specifically, like in the 1990s, in like one paper
he worked with
on
Fauci.
it.
Yeah,
he worked on one paper when it relates to that in the 90s. Okay,
Fauci?
that was in the 90s. The vaccine was not being developed until way later than that. Right, we didn't even start developing that in relation to COVID viruses until the early 2000s with like SARS and MERS.
And that's fine if that's your opinion. The bottom line is he was banned off Twitter. He wasn't even allowed to share.
Yeah, I don't think that people should be. I agree with you when it relates to this. I don't think that we should have banned people. I think that we should have had accurate responses in debates when it relates to this. Yes. That would have been a more effective manner to do this. But like, because we, from the standpoint we are right now, we're able to see how it ended. Okay, we're able to see the effects of it. Whereas then, what we see is that like, okay, people are engaging in like misinformation when it relates to this particular set of vaccinations. I can give you an example. Right? We want to make sure that people continue to thrive and people are doing fine. This is the type of stuff that we should engage in.
I don't think you're.
I'm just telling you that. Hold up, please. I want you to listen to what I'm saying because I'm giving you a thought process, right? So like, this is the type of thought process that was engaged at the time. I disagree with it now, given that we have the ability to look at it.
So I don't think that's entirely true. When you say, "Oh, now we have all the facts," or "now we know," I think that's exactly the point. The warnings from Dr. Malone and many other doctors about myocarditis were viewed as misinformation, and now it's irrefutable. I mean, myocarditis is now a known.
Wait, no. Actually, so a lot of the claims about myocarditis are absolutely misinformation, right? Not just the existence. Everyone has claimed that since there have been a myocarditis that's derivative of that, right? But actually, the myocarditis derivative of the vaccination is significantly less harmful, right? The symptoms oftentimes go away in like a day or two once they give you steroids, right? And they are significantly less deadly. There's actually not in the studies that people mentioned, not a single person that died from vaccine-induced myocarditis, whereas COVID-induced myocarditis almost killed my father, almost killed many other people that I know, almost killed millions of people in the US. So like, that's ridiculous. Well, not millions, hundreds of thousands, my bad.
So I completely disagree with you, but guess what, Parker? That should be okay. We should be able to live in a country and have completely different perspectives and still be able to respect each other. I would say the exact opposite. I would say the children and young adults who were forced to get vaccines, who did not need it. They were healthy. They had no pre-existing conditions. And so many of them have died of heart attacks. So many of them have long COVID symptoms. You can't argue.
Wait. So again, there are lower rates given vaccination.
Let me finish. I am not anti-vax. I'm glad we have the vaccine for people who did need it, like the elderly and people who had breathing problems. But the fact that it was mandated, especially by Biden, and the misinformation of him saying that this has become a pandemic of the unvaccinated, when actually the people who were vaccinated got COVID more than twice in record 3 or 4 times, they still transmitted it and they're still getting COVID shots. And in fact, they have proven that the unvaccinated have stronger immunities than the unvaccinated today.
That's actually not true. So I would like to source for that because actually vaccine plus natural immunity is the best possible immunity you can get. And actually vaccine immunity is
not true. That's not true. I mean, I'm sure Pfizer will tell you otherwise.
That's so like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? This is what's been. A lot of
the studies are sponsored by Pfizer and Moderna. So follow them.
So not all studies, right? We can look internationally. We have studies on this type of stuff.
Exactly. We can, and I can show you studies that prove exactly my points.
No, absolutely. Well, I would like to see that because the studies that I've seen, I can send you an entire bibliography when it relates to this.
I appreciate that, and I'm going to follow through. You friend me, and I will send you links on everything we talked about.
Yeah, my bibliography is in my bio, link through my bio. We have like 30-something pages on COVID research when it relates to the vaccinations, and I'm saying systematic reviews, tons of research right? too, that which are the highest rated of evidence.
Again, I'm happy to show you my sources. I just wish more Americans were allowed to see them and make assessments for themselves.
Can you restate to me what I just said to you?
You said that there's 30 pages of a study, right? So I can say the same thing.
Of a study, no, right? I explained the specific type and I said it was a bibliography, right? You're cutting me off every single time and you're not actually engaging with what I'm saying because you have like pre-set up responses to things, right? And not actually engaging with what I'm saying. Like, so can you please like wait for me to finish and then respond to that then? right? Because it seems like you're like, because like I would understand cutting off, like as you're trying to like bring back the conversation to like a productive sense, right? But you're doing it every single time on every single
Well,
point,
you're gonna
which
give me
doesn't
a
allow for the
study.
conversation to be productive.
Yeah, well, but you're going to give me like a 5 sentence study. What does it matter what it's called? I can show you, I can refute that with another study. So I don't know how helpful that is. You know,
No, but the point is that you're cutting off every
well.
time.
What's that?
The point is that you're cutting off every time on information that's going to be relevant to like my point.
Okay. I will pace myself more.
Sure. All right, you can go back to what you're saying.
No, listen, I just wish that people like you got to see different points of views from also reputable studies, peer review studies, doctor studies, studies from international countries, not just America. So everyone was better informed, because as Americans, we have a right to mitigate our own risk. And the fact that people lost their jobs if they refused to be vaccinated, even if they already got COVID and had the natural immunities. The fact that my children weren't allowed to go to school if they weren't jabbed is so un-American and so against our inherent freedoms. And that's a lot of
Wait, what freedom?
That people have become liberal, conservatives who used to be liberal today.
What freedom?
Freedom to have a right to mitigate your own risk, what you put in your body. My body, my choice, right?
Okay, so then what about mandates for seatbelts?
So it's
what about so that's like what you can do with your body. I thought my body, my choice.
So it's, again,
what about people, whether or not they can get abortions?
I am pro-choice with conditions.
Oh, okay. Wait. What month?
15 weeks.
Okay. Are exceptions though? Like, do you give like large exceptions, like
course.
European countries? Okay.
Yes, 100%.
That's similar to my view. I'm a bit later than you, but like that's similar to my view. So if you're pro-choice, okay, so you are for in all scenarios, saying that like you should not be mandated to put things into your body, right, or to do things to be able to sustain other people.
See, I say something specifically to a vaccine, and then you take it and you apply it, and you think I'm saying it to everything across the board, and that's
I asked you a question to clarify. It seems like you don't apply that. So when it relates specifically to vaccines, why is it?
It was specifically to this vaccine.
Okay, so why specifically this vaccination? Because it seems like you're okay with other types of vaccinations being mandated then.
Some of them, yes, not all of them. I mean, we are the most highly vaccinated population, and we have the highest rates of autism, ADHD, sensory issues, and I think there's a correlation. And I would
correlation doesn't implicate causation. So
I would recommend you reading RFK's book, The Real Dr. Fauci. Every single thing he writes in that is fact checked. That's why he is not being sued for any kind of malpractice or defamation. If you are really passionate about this as much as I am, I would encourage you to read the book and make your own assessments. RFK is a attorney who's taken on big pharma for decades. But he immediately gets dismissed by the left as a coon, as an anti-vaxxer, conspiracy theorist. This is another example of censorship. And I'm glad he's running as an independent. I love RFK also, in addition to Trump and DeSantis and Vivek.
Okay. Those are a weird set of individuals to like, but so like when it relates to like what specifically do you like about DeSantis?
Oh, he's fantastic. But I am, Parker, to be fair, not happy about the heartbeat law. I'm very upset that he did that. But he is a true leader. He has proven himself time and time again. He did what no one did. When COVID hit, he immediately protected them.
Did you use a slur? Sorry, I didn't hear anything. What did you say?
Oh, I said that I'm not happy about the heartbeat law. I'm not happy that he did that.
What did you say? What did you say though?
I was saying about how he handled COVID, and he did what no other governor was doing.
Did you say the C word? The C slur?
COVID? What?
Chat's saying you said the C slur, like
What's
a racial
the C slur? I don't know what he's even referring to. I'm saying about COVID. What's the C slur? I don't have my glasses on.
Do you see the chat?
Ugh, I don't have my glasses on. I didn't see it because I don't even know what the C slur is. So he must have misheard me.
With the entire chat saying it, like I'm.
What is the C slur? Okay, can you put it again?
Yeah. So okay. So okay. So there are some people. I don't know the chat.
Where is it? I don't see. What is it?
Okay, chat. Half the chat is saying she did. Half the chat's saying she didn't.
I didn't. I don't even know what it is. I literally was talking about COVID. So
Here, let me add Athena. Let me see what she says because I didn't hear. I missed that.
yeah, because I
Did you said coon?
no.
You said some people
I don't
call
even know what
some
coon is.
You did. You said
I
some people
didn't.
call RF. You said some people call RFK a coon.
No, a conspiracy theorist.
No, you said coon. I literally
Oh,
heard you.
a kook, not a coon. A kook, like
You
a
didn't
crazy
say a
person.
coon with an N?
No, I didn't say it with an N. I've never used that word in my life.
Okay.
I
It
said
sounded like
kook.
you said a coon.
No, I
Oh, my
don't even know what
bad.
that means.
Okay. Interesting. My bad. I'll go back to the comments. But also, can we address the autism part? Like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I was gonna address that because like
Okay,
that's
thank
just like an association. You have no causal evidence to indicate there.
Again,
right? There are
read
some people
Dr.
that get
Fauci's book.
diagnosed with autism right after the fact that they get a vaccination, but that does not mean that the
So, I can
the vaccine
clarify.
caused them to get autism. There,
So
there's
I
no
can
good
clarify.
evidence for that.
No, yes, obviously not every child who gets vaccinated is going to have autism. Obviously not. Everyone has different immunities. But it is worth exploring. While in 1989, the requirements for vaccine have tripled for children, and so have the autism rates. So it's not direct. I mean, it's not necessarily autism. It could be,
That doesn't mean that there's a meaningful relationship.
Let me finish. Remember, you said we should finish each other's points. Dr. Malone would say that it was a roundabout. It was the pesticides for what's in our foods, which is something we should all be concerned about and want less toxins on in our foods. So the point is, this is worth exploring. This is worth exploring. Information I think every American deserves to have this information, know what's in their foods, know what's in their drugs, so they can make their own assessments. I'm vaccinated. I got the childhood vaccines. My children got it. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't be comfortable with them getting all of them, but definitely some of them. Like, for example, the measles mumps vaccine has been around forever. So is the polio. That's very different than the new mRNA vaccine that is very experimental and was rushed through on emergency basis. So again,
Do you have a source for that? Because when you're saying that vaccines cause autism, that is,
see, I didn't
I'm pretty
say
sure
that
the man
directly. I
who,
said
I'm pretty sure the man, yeah, you said that there was some type of
there's a
causation
correlation.
there.
Yeah.
There was none though. Because the man who did study it, I'm pretty sure he got stripped of his medical license, if I'm not mistaken.
I understand that because if that's to come out, look what it would do to our society, right? There'd be a lot of angry people, and there would be a lot of people not getting vaccinated. So again, I'm not anti-vax, but I'm pro-information, and I encourage all of you to read The Real Dr. Fauci by RFK and look at information by Dr. Peter McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone and decide for yourself. Decide for yourself. That's all.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying that like Big Pharma would somehow prevent such a study from going out because...
Yes. They've done that many times before. I mean, remember with the silicone, when they said silicone was fine for implants until so many people got mercury in their bodies and they had to say, you know what? It's no longer FDA approved. Yes. Yes, there is corruption between the FDA and Big Pharma for sure.
No, but I'm pretty sure that this is very much. I think Maloney, if I'm not mistaken, was the person who had his medical license stripped.
No.
Really?
Nope.
So for these things they would be held accountable, and for these things they would be held accountable, right? But it is the case that you're making a claim that there's some sort of intended purpose behind utilizing these types of things to be able to like hurt people or to be able to cause corruption and stuff like that, which is not something that you have evidence for. And then also you didn't justify that there's a meaningful association between these two variables. All you're saying is that there's a correlation, and you can look up spurious correlations and go through an entire site of different types of spurious correlations that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Would you like me to name some of them?
No. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I am very passionate about this because I'm a parent, and what I've learned, and I would like just more people to know about it and make their own judgments. But the fact is, the information should be available. It should be available. It should not be censored, and its studies should be a lot more balanced, not presented by Big Pharma. I mean, you have to follow the money, and.
There are studies that aren't presented by that
society, and we have a lot more.
Wait, Danielle, there are lots of studies that are not coming through, like what you would consider Big Pharma. So, like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's institutions across the entire world This is not specific to the United
Yes,
States.
and there are institutions that don't say what's popular because it would, it's not good for business.
No. It's popular even amongst institutions that are not through what you consider big pharma or funded through that, right? You understand that like if this was like bad for people, this would require like literally cooperation from medical examiners. It would require cooperation from doctors. It would require cooperation from medical institutions. It would require cooperation from colleges, institutions across the entire world, right? All in accordance with giving people a vaccination that's truly meant to hurt them, right? Like that's your thought process.
Do you remember,
to this?
Parker? Did you know that doctors also endorsed cigarette smoking back in the day? I'm a doctor and I smoke and I approve Marlboro. Remember those days? Remember those times?
Yeah, so that specifically, if we want to relate back to that, we had significantly less evidence to relate to and significantly less notions of studies. We have studies today to be able to develop evidence, and that's exactly why we would relate to the idea that evidence is necessary for us to be able to produce these things.
Again, I'm all for studies, but there's also other studies that don't seem to see the light of day when they're inconvenient conclusions. And that's where censorship comes in, and that's
studies would those be though? Because like I'm looking this up right now, and there's absolutely like no credible scientific evidence supporting any type of link between autism and vaccines, right? So there have been also multiple studies that were conducted by independent institutions and not necessarily by big pharma, to investigate kind of like any potential association or correlation. And the overwhelming consensus within the scientific and medical community is that vaccines do not correlate or do not cause like autism. So you're talking about studies this, studies that, but most of the people who talk about these studies are the ones who specifically cite only those two particular studies which have been accused of being very flawed.
You are welcome to believe that. That's fine. But there are people who are parents, we look around and we see there's every family that we know of has at least one child today with some sort of issue that was not apparent in the 80s. And we have to look for causes why. And if you are not interested in it or you're fine with status quo, that's your right. God bless you. But there are other people who would like the information, who would like to be able to critically think and know more about what's being put into our children's bodies and see if there is more of a correlation.
But that's because it wasn't diagnosed. I'm confused. This is because like we didn't have the necessary like tools to be able to diagnose people with autism more. And also your whole argument is fundamentally like ableist because you're trying to imply that there's something wrong with people with autism or being autistic is a huge issue.
I never said that. I never said that. Don't twist my words.
There were issues. You said that there were issues in the 1980s that were not being discovered.
Yes.
That were not being discovered today. And in doing that, you are implying and conveying this message to people with autism that there is something wrong with them when there is absolutely nothing wrong with people with autism.
No. Let's go back. And, this is what tends to happen is you accuse someone of something and then you run with that accusation and you say it's applied to A, B, and C when the accusation, in fact, is incorrect. Now, I never said there's something wrong with people with autism, but it does present more of a challenge for life. And I would be curious to learn more about it for my own children's children. And it's nothing to do with ableist or not. Mm-hmm. There is something that's shifted since 1989. Where, and I've heard that point of view, we're just able to diagnose it more. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
But don't take my word for it. Then if you are very convinced with how you feel, then read Dr. Fauci's, the real Dr. Fauci, read about all of the work that RFK has done, that Shannon Kroner has done. Read up about it. And if you're not convinced, you're not convinced. But
wait, what about like mental health issues though?
For people to be able to see it.
No, but mental health issues have also increased. Like all these other cancer rates, all other illnesses have also increased, right? Diseases have also increased, and like
and so
to imply that. No, but we can see this kind of trend of increase even with regards to when left-handed people stop being demonized. The rates of like left-handed people also increase in society because we were more accepting. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of a sudden people started becoming more left-handed. It just meant that people were more open with being left-handed, right? And the same thing with regards to autism, mental health issues, and all other issues, like advancement in diagnostic capabilities and a more of a greater understanding, especially medical understanding and awareness of autism spectrum disorder, but also all these other issues have kind of made it possible for us to easily diagnose these things. It doesn't mean that people with these issues increased in number, but it just meant that us diagnosing them has become better.
No, I mean, that's your theory. I don't agree with that theory.
It's not my theory. It's the general scientific consensus.
Okay, well,
it's not my personal theory
that you've been allowed to see because
I think she just got another call. Sheila, thank you so much for the $10 Venmo. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sheila, thank you so much for the. Oh, okay. She's swapping in and out.
Okay. I'll give my time to someone else, but all I'm saying is that this is worth exploring. It is a serious
before you
issue.
do, I want to be able to address this, right?
Wait. I just want to say one more point, and you can look this up too. There is 20% less testosterone in men and 20% more estrogen in women today because of the plastics, because of the things in our foods and our environment. And this all relates. I'm not just saying it's just the vaccines. I'm not saying it's just what we're eating, but we have a right as Americans to know more about what is being put into our bodies, what is in our medicines, in our foods, how it's being farmed.
We don't disagree with you this.
I feel like we should all be on the same page with that, right? So all I'm saying is we should want no censorship in this area, and there needs to be better accountability.
Wait, by the way, that is not what that means, right? We just need accurate information, okay?
But
so if what you would consider, hold up, if what you would consider the information is to be misinformation and it's not accurate information, then censoring that would not be a bad thing if it's not accurate information. Do you understand what I'm saying when it relates to that?
I understand, but I'm saying the information is accurate, but it's just inconvenient, and that's why it's censored.
Okay, so if it is accurate, then it shouldn't be censored. We disagree with that. None of us are saying that we should fucking censor accurate information.
But it has been. Because you asked me for like when.
Well,
I just told you.
That's what you believe to be accurate, but I don't think you have a basis for that.
No, but I bet there were many examples. I mean, when you said the COVID virus came from Wuhan, that was considered misinformation until it was proved to be correct.
We don't know what it came from, like the lab, or whether or not it came from a zoonotic leap, right? It could have been either of those. Both of those are viable explanations.
There are many examples that if you don't listen to me, listen to Zuckerberg, who was like, yeah, all these things I was told from the Biden administration that this was misinformation and to not push it. And that is not America. That is China. We should not live where there's a current administration censoring information to the public.
They weren't censoring information. They just said not to do this. That's like what?
Oh, that's censoring.
That's not censoring.
When Biden administration
they didn't force it.
Calls Jack Dorsey and
that's not a policy. That's literally that's
this. I mean that's
not censoring. That's literally saying don't do this. That's like a person coming up to someone and saying don't do this. That's not like a legislation saying you have to do this.
That's not their place. This is it should be a free speech forum.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so I hope we agree that censorship is not a good thing.
Wait, if they don't have to do it, then how is that forced? How is that censorship?
No,
because censorship is forced, right?
When Mark Zuckerberg said under oath he was contacted by members of the Biden administration and the FBI to censor certain stories when they later turned out to be true and he regretted them, that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's okay to censor certain stories that, like, if they're true. Like, that's not my idea, right? But when it relating to the idea that that you're saying that they were like what's it called? Like, you're saying that they're censoring, and censoring refers to like they're cutting it off the platform forcefully, right?
Right, blocking them.
But if they didn't forcefully do it and they just said, "Oh, don't do this," if it's just a say, that's not censorship.
No, if you're going to get a call from the FBI and the Biden administration, you're going to listen to them, especially if you're on the left.
That's not true.
Well, that's what happened, though. So it happened. And Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg.
If fucking Biden
that.
called me right now and told me to do something, I would not listen to it.
Okay, but they did, and that influenced millions and millions of people as a result.
Okay, well then now you have your X, you have your free speech, right? And people aren't censored on that to the degree that you think would be bad.
I disagree with that actually, because I disagree with that actually, because Elon Musk has actually infamously censored and silenced everyone who disagrees with him. There have been multiple. Hold on. No. I'm saying there have been multiple journalists, for example, who have been censored and silenced for simply criticizing Elon Musk, right? So I think it's very, very interesting that you're talking about him being pro-free speech. Pro-free speech.
It wasn't that, though. Don't be honest, though. They actually printed the name and his location of where he was, and it was a security issue with his children.
Not at all.
So that's why.
Not at all.
He's a free speech absolutist. He doesn't care if people criticize him.
He's not a free speech. No,
okay. Anyway, do you have someone else?
He's not
by the way, being against hate speech is not free speech absolutism.
No, he's not a free speech absolutist.
I'm against hate speech,
can I address this? There have been multiple examples actually of him even censoring and silencing people who criticize what he looks like. He's censored and silenced people who have body shamed him.
I don't believe
he has silenced people who have criticized Tesla. He has silenced people who have criticized how he treats people within his factory, right? So this idea that Elon Musk, which again himself, he's a colonizer, but anyways, the fact that he is some kind of king of free speech, but then he silences anybody who criticizes him.
I don't think what you're saying is true. I think you are
laughable.
Actually spreading misinformation now. I don't.
No,
think
I'm not
that's
spreading
true.
misinformation at all. Actually,
yeah. So I don't think someone who's an advocate for free speech would have an issue with someone criticizing him. So that doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't think that's correct.
Did you know that he
I'm happy to go. You can have this debate with the next person.
He put in a project called Twitter Blue, where users pay for a blue check mark, which boosts them up in the algorithm. But at the same time, it lowers the visibility of people who are not necessarily even paying for Twitter Blue.
He's doing a lot of new things. Some things work, some things don't. He's doing what no one else has done before in this area, and he's figuring it out, as well as doing everything else that he's doing.
That doesn't sound like somebody who's the king of free speech, though. I don't know.
Well, I never said he was the king of free speech, but I said, thank God we have people like him who are bringing free speech back to America.
How is he bringing free speech back when he's literally making people pay? No, he's making people pay
to
post their opinions, and then if anybody criticizes him,
it's a business. He's allowed to try different things and see.
So then it's not free speech. It's not free speech.
No, that was specifically with influencers who wanted more viewership.
No, it wasn't only specifically with influencers, actually.
Okay,
it's not only with influencers, because if he's going around censoring journalists
I think he got rid of that. I think he got rid of the blue check mark. I haven't seen anything about it in a while. I think it was something he tried, and it didn't go in the direction that was successful. And he's allowed, when you acquire a business, you're allowed to try new things and different things and see what works and see what doesn't.
He also silenced Substack.
Okay. So don't be on X. Okay, don't be on X. Stay in your Twitter, TikTok world that is vastly left, censoring conservatives and support for Israel. I have 5 videos taken down for no reason.
Yeah, so I have 2 videos taken down in the past few weeks. I'm on my 3rd account. Other ones have been permabanned. Literally, it happens to everyone on here.
Well, I'm glad, and I hope that it continues to be balanced. That's all I'm saying. We can all agree that hate speech is a problem, no matter what side you're on, and free speech is an American value. So I will leave it at that. Parker, thank you for your time. It was nice talking to you.
All right, for sure. All right, what's up, Athena?
I am exhausted because that was a hurricane of misinformation, a tornado of misinformation, and now I'm gonna go get my juice box and try to relax because
You definitely need to do that. Good seeing you again, Athena. Have a good day. All right, let's go on to the next person. If you like the content, follow me. If you're ready, tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, everyone, share the live, copy link, send it to your friends. If you want to support me as well, Venmo, Cash App in the bio. Let's get on to the next person. Please only send a guest request if you support Trump, y'all. All right. Okay, for some reason it didn't accept this person, so we're going to go on to the next person here real quick. Yo, thank you so much for the Venmo again, Sheila. I do appreciate it. Trump was responsible for Operation Warp Speed. Yes, Trump was responsible for Operation Warp Speed. That is also a thing that I should have brought up. I should have brought that up. Sheila, I appreciate that. All right, give it a second, everyone. It's not accepting this person. We're going to get on to the next real quick, everyone. Please only do send a guest request. If you disagree, we are just looking for people who support Trump, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, that didn't accept that person. Let's get to the next. Only do send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. Keep tapping that screen. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes, y'all. What is Operation Warp Speed? Meant to like make it faster, make there be faster development for the vaccinations, is what Trump actually aided in. So like that's one thing that like a lot of anti-vax or against the COVID vaccine, people who are Trump supporters will have to reconcile with. Okay, it's not accepting people. I'm trying to get to the next person though. Give it a second, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
Yeah, how old are you?
24.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Why so?
Well, first of all, I'm not American. So I'm just speaking on behalf of somebody who looks from another country. And I think that a lot of Americans get this notion that they are living in a horrible country, but they don't know how it is in other countries. And I'm just here to like share my, like, from what I heard.
So you can't vote for Biden, or I mean Trump. So like what?
No,
I'm sorry, but
I do. I have been following like his presidency when he was elected president in 2016. And I thought he did a lot more better than what people were giving him credit for.
Yeah, so but your notion of supporting him, I don't even know what that means. What do you mean when you say you support Trump?
I think America was doing way better with Trump under Trump's presidency.
Like economically speaking, does that mean it was caused by Trump?
I think no war started abroad. I think
Does that mean it was caused by Trump?
Well, it was his presidency, so it was his influence.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he caused it. Like also, so if it's also we're just attributing everything that happened under his administration to be him, the 14.7% unemployment that happened under his administration, was that caused by him?
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure on like the economic aspect of that, but from what I know,
so just some variables you want to associate with him, not others. That's just cherry picking.
No, it's not cherry picking. It's just talking on the overall. I mean, obviously, there's like there's obviously whatever happens in the world, like his influence is like different, but I think he was doing a lot more good than bad. I'm just speaking from somebody who like supports Trump from abroad.
Okay, so like again, right? What do you mean by more good? Like what specifically?
Well, I think like, looking at the current presidency that we have now, like Biden, I mean, wars were happening abroad. I think that nobody looks at America as like a strong nation anymore.
Wait, wars were happening under Trump's administration.
Like what?
He increased military drone strikes within the Middle East.
Yeah, but wasn't that like a war that already happened? Like,
but isn't that a war going on?
It was already.
He also assassinated a top military general, right? General Soleimani, like in Iran. That also provoked a notion of war, right? These are acts of war. Okay, if someone assassinated one of our top military generals, would we consider that an act of war?
Well, I mean,
what would we do as Americans if say China, right, just unalives one of our top military generals?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think would happen there? Is that an act of war?
Well, that would definitely cause something to happen. I'm not going to speak on that behalf, but I'm just saying like for example, the Biden administration, when he removed troops from Afghanistan, I believe, obviously, that was done completely horribly done. and also the fact that like, Russia started
Are you
invading.
talking about Afghanistan? Afghanistan. So that setup for like leaving Afghanistan was set up by Trump, and it was
Well,
an earlier date than they ended up pulling out.
Well, it was his idea to move out, but from what he said, like, the way Biden did it was a completely like horribly.
What about it?
Well, they removed troops like just right away. Like they didn't like.
No, they actually left last minute.
Yeah, but
If they didn't leave at the very minute they left at, they would have started shooting American soldiers.
no, but like what I'm saying is that like you fought a war in Afghanistan for so long and nothing basically changed. It still went under the Taliban rule. Like, wasn't that all investments like lost? And I mean,
Yeah, but that's going to be the fault of prior administrations.
exactly. But they're all like Democratic administrations. Like I think it was a Democratic administration that started.
No, it was Republican George Bush.
Okay, well, fine, George Bush then, but like it was continued with Democratic. Like nobody wanted to move out. Like they just continued the war that they started.
Like, dude, there's no way you actually just associate that with Democrats and try to use it as a point against Democrats, but then it was actually a point against Republicans. So it seems like we have a good argument against Republicans then here, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think Bush was. Honestly, I'm just going for Trump. Like I don't.
Okay, so it's an argument against us, but not an argument
honest,
against
like,
you. Okay, buddy.
To be honest, like Republicans in general, like a lot of Republicans don't even like Trump. So it's just Trump's presidency was very different than in terms of like what Republicans value.
Oh yeah, same thing with Biden.
Hardcore Republicans are very different than what like hardcore Republicans don't even support Trump because like he's like, he has liberal aspects included within what he believes in. So these hardcore Republicans are like...
No, the hardcore Republicans do support Trump, right? The people who like are establishment Republicans, the people who actually want the Republican Party to continue on, they're against Trump because Trump literally degrades their party because he's anti-democratic in notions, right? Like you understand that like when there's a person claiming that they stole the election from him, they defrauded him from the United States government's election, right? For years after the election, unprecedented in history, that's not something that seems tenable to agree with. Right. So that's like almost political suicide after he's gone.
Well, I mean, Trump has like, I think like when he was talking about the presidency being stolen, I know he was referencing to a lot of like fraud that was done within the ballots. So rightfully so. I mean, he could criticize that because I don't think it was done the best way. I think in America, I don't know how it is.
Are you referencing the mail-in ballots?
Yeah. Like,
so how did Trump vote?
I'm sorry?
How did Trump vote?
How did he vote? I think he voted in person.
No.
Did he vote by a mail-in ballot?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but don't you have to like register online to receive the mail-in ballot? Like, wasn't he saying things that like people like they were just sending mail-in ballots to anybody who was registered, like who was.
You have to have the registration.
So they were
sending. I literally voted mail-in. You have to have the registration. If you don't have the actual information, your ballot's not going to get accepted.
Yeah, but they were sending it to people who like passed away and died. Like, how does that make sense?
No. So, well, I mean, of course they send it to people who end up dying, and also people vote and then end up dying after that. That happens in every election. Actually, if you look at CISA, right, they actually indicate this is the safest election in recorded history.
It was the safest election in recorded history?
Yep, most secure election in recorded history.
And who runs this organization who reported that? Are they liberal?
CISA.gov. CISA. Look up CISA, most secure election 2020.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure there's other organizations who would oppose that, but I mean...
Like what? Name one.
Well, off the top of my head...
Trust me, bro, University?
I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that
That's exactly what it is, though.
If I take time to Google like you have before, I'm pretty sure I could find organizations that are against that.
Yeah, but this is a CISA.gov. This is a .gov website, bro.
Okay, so let's just say that it was super safe and like everything was done well and whatever, but like that still doesn't like change like my mind that like, with the Biden administration, with the Trump administration, like whatever Biden's doing currently is a lot worse. And
like what? Can you give me specifically what?
Well, one thing that I could like definitely name on the top of my head is like it's handling by world problem, I would say.
Like what?
Well, with the Ukraine, he was sending a bunch of like money to Ukraine.
Okay, so Trump would have done the same thing. Or you're saying Trump would have given no money to Ukraine, and instead Trump would have seceded Ukraine to Russia.
No, he didn't say that.
So which one would he have done?
What do you mean?
Would he have given money to Ukraine to help them bolster the war against Russia and to defend themselves, or would he have not given them money and instead allowed them to, essentially be fucked?
Well, on reports that I saw of what he was talking about the issue, he was saying how he would not have given all that money to, I think it was Zelensky. Yeah, Zelensky.
So he would have given no money to Ukraine, and instead he would have allowed for them to be taken over by Russia.
I'm not saying he wouldn't have given
one that's like an incoherent worldview. That just means that that's going to set precedent for China to take Taiwan. Secondly, it is the case that this specifically, right, would not have happened, right, by Congress, not by the president. Okay. So Congress would have still sent money to Ukraine.
Okay, but what I'm saying is but what I'm saying, it doesn't matter if Trump, okay, whatever Trump would have sent, but that doesn't justify the fact of what Biden did. I think the question is why do you support Trump? And my argument was that his policies that he enacted on America is a lot worse than with the current Democratic.
I understand that's your conclusion, but what I'm saying is that I am rejecting your process of achieving that conclusion. And I did that by rejecting one of your premises, right?
Which is what?
Well, I just named it. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, you said that Trump would have sent foreign aid as well. That's what you said.
Yeah, so, and it's not because Trump did it. It's because Congress does it. So I reject your premise that it would be different because it doesn't relate to the president. It relates to Congress, which is not determined by the president. Executive and legislative branches are two different branches of government.
Okay, well then obviously Biden has no influence from what you're telling me.
No, Biden has some influence, right? Absolutely has influence, right? But that does not, I don't think that that's going to mean that it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we could move on topics from that because obviously we disagree on that because I definitely do think that Trump would have handled it completely different, but obviously that's, my opinion, and he was not president when this happened, so we'll never know. It's just hearsay.
Okay. So the idea is that, it's hearsay to say that it would have happened differently than it did, right?
But what I could say is that Trump, did try to mend relations within the Middle East, and, he allowed Israel and I think it was the EAU to
the Abraham Accords, right? Yeah. So can you give me any reason that wouldn't have happened under a Clinton administration?
Well, I mean, it's Clinton. She's not really favored a lot by Arabic countries. They really they don't like her. So I mean, a lot of shit happened with her. A lot of shit happened with, I think it was Hillary, Bill Clinton, her husband. So I don't think they would have liked her too much.
Yeah. So what happened?
Well, I mean, they were fighting a war with Afghanistan and a lot of these Arabic countries, so they tried to gain influence within the Middle East.
At what year?
Well, wasn't that the early 2000s?
That they were fighting? So, Clinton negotiated peace in these areas, right? And also, Afghanistan and that didn't that happen with Bush after 2001?
Yeah, but it continued.
Who was president in 9/11?
Who was president in 9/11? 9/11. Then when did it happen? That happened in 2001, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I mean, I think it was. Wasn't it Bush? It was Bush.
It was Bush, exactly. So if we were in Afghanistan, then that's not going to be Clinton.
Yeah, but it was
because didn't Afghanistan relate to after World War II? I mean, not World War II. Gosh, 9/11. Holy shit.
9/11.
My brain.
What was the question? Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, how the hell could it be Clinton? It was Bush.
Wait, when was Clinton? When was he in office? I'm not sure.
The 90s, and then up to 2000.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened in the 90s.
Yeah, Clinton actually negotiated peace agreements in the 90s. I do want you to recognize here that I don't think that you're going to be able to provide a relevant distinction. It means that this wouldn't happen under particularly like a different administration, one which would be Democratic, right? So if you can't provide me a relevant distinction between the two, then how is this relevant to saying that you support Trump? Because isn't your support of Trump in relation to like whether or not there is an opposing candidate?
I think the conversation is kind of deviating because like it's like, why do you support Trump? And like I'm giving information on like why I support Trump. But like, you know,
and I'm debating you. Sorry, this is a debate platform.
No, but listen to what I have to say. So the conversation is just turning about like all these people who I think are worse. Like that's just my personal opinion. Like obviously, whatever the fact is in the whatever presidency, I'm sure they had some good to have to do. But what I'm basically saying is that like Trump on a whole, America was doing a lot better than any other presidents and within a long time.
Yeah, if you're saying better, you're inherently making a comparison, okay? Because you're saying that one is preferable to the others. That's what better means.
But the economy will speak for itself.
Okay, so again, right? How do you know that it specifically was caused by Trump?
For example, like I follow Biden on Instagram.
Can you identify how it was caused by Trump? The economy being in a good state?
Well, just him getting to office didn't like, you know, the stocks like increase for every company because obviously they saw it as a favorable outcome for them.
There was higher stock prices under Biden.
And what company?
And talking index funds.
Okay.
You look at S&P, Dow, or NASDAQ.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know stocks are doing. I mean, for me, I think stocks are doing pretty bad. So, you know, good for Biden, I guess. But I'm just speaking on like when Trump got into office, right away they went up.
No, so it just continued on the trend of going up. Joshua, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate it, Joshua. Yeah, so like again, can you give me reason to believe that these are caused by Trump? Because you're just saying that these things are associated, and if it's just them being associated that determines that one caused the other, well then it's going to be the case that the 14% unemployment, 14.7% unemployment is going to be caused by Trump under his administration as well.
Well, under his administration, like, you know, he lowered a lot of barriers for these, you know, companies for growth. So it allowed them to grow more. And I mean,
what barriers did he remove?
What did he remove? Barriers, like, you know, barriers allowed companies to self-grow within the country.
What barriers?
Well,
these are just talking points. You have no clue.
Yeah, I know. But for what I was talking about, like, you know, like all these like sanctions and stuff like that. Like he put sanctions on other countries, so it would stop them like influencing too much within the market. Within
what sanctions?
On China, he put a lot of sanctions on China.
So, are you trying to talk about the tariffs?
Yes, the tariffs that I think.
Yeah, so those tariffs that hurt American producers, like farmers in Iowa, and that also hurt American consumers by making their goods like a lot more expensive.
Yeah, but you have to
that's negatively impacted us.
Yeah, but you have to look on the whole because that causes, you know, more companies within America to grow. Like instead of getting all these low budget quality from other countries that obviously, like, you know.
No, the point is it's the same quality, because if it was different quality and that quality difference made it so that people didn't want to buy it, well then people wouldn't buy it as much. Yeah, and then that would just like simply like evade out of the market.
Yeah, but he's trying.
So what you're just telling me is that we need to artificially prop up. What you're telling me right now is that we need to artificially prop up American businesses because they're not as good as businesses from other countries around the world.
No, but that's
what tariffs are. Tariffs are artificially propping up American companies in terms of the prices.
Yeah, I know what tariffs are. I know what they do. They're supposed to like improve the own companies within the country because you want to put tariffs.
What are tariffs?
Well, for example, if you're getting imported goods from other countries, you put tariffs, so basically you become more expensive.
Yeah.
That's what tariffs are. And all countries use them.
I don't know if all countries use them, but having low tariffs is probably effective. Right. And then that's because it actually incentivizes global trade. And global trade is actually really important because a lot of countries have things that we can't produce here in the United States. Yes, and because we have different comparative advantages and things, right, it allows us to specialize.
Yes, that is true. But you're basically saying that low tariffs are better. That's not necessarily true. There's a lot of countries who benefit from high tariffs. I mean, look at Japan, for example. They put tariffs on rice because they want to, you know, their own producers.
That's not across the entire economy. right? And also that's not from an entire country or
Yeah,
hyper
but it
specific to a
causes the
country.
to be more self-sufficient.
And then also like I don't know if you would even have evidence to indicate that those tariffs are effective for them actually.
For who?
Japan's been in a stagnant economy for 40 years. You know that, right?
Yeah, but they do have tariffs on imported goods because they want, you know.
So how are the tariffs doing if they've been stagnating for the past 40 years?
Well, I'm just poking on a basis. I mean, I don't know how long they had these tariffs in for 40 years. I can't say if they had it in for 40 years. I can't say, but I'm just speaking on behalf of like, you know, that's just an example of a country that benefits from putting tariffs because, you know, people consume.
How are they benefiting?
Because people consume locally. Because if you were just getting imported goods from rice that comes from cheaper countries, that obviously would be cheaper for the people there. But all these farmers that have rice paddies, they would basically go bankrupt because everybody would go consume. I mean, every country has tariffs. I don't know. I'm not going to say every country. I'm not going to say every country because I don't think the Vatican City has, you know, tariffs. But I'm just
so when it relates to tariffs,
some tariffs.
Okay. And that doesn't mean that those are a benefit just because they have them. Okay. So that's my point.
Of course they're a benefit. They're a benefit because it causes people to consume locally.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily the most effective manner. In all scenarios, right? Actually, like what would be most effective would be that we actually specialize according to our comparative advantages, and that whatever we produce here is because we're better at producing that.
Exactly.
Not because we prop up this production. And America
does do that. They do that in terms of grain. They produce a lot of grain that they sell to other countries.
They subsidize that grain.
They subsidize it for their farmers.
That's incentivizing production. So if you want to incentivize production locally, how about you subsidize it rather than having tariffs?
Okay, but subsidizing would take more tax money.
Okay, but you understand that tariffs are also taking money from the population, right?
If you're talking about that,
but where is that money going is the real point. You use it in the United States, whereas like if it's tariff based, well then that money is going other places, right?
Well, I mean other places obviously because they use it. You know, I'm not 100% sure on how you guys do it in America. I know I'm not like an expert on American economics, but compared to like let's say Canada, which is the country I come from, like we have all this oil that we really don't have refining processes to refine it. So what we do is that in Canada, we sell it to America, they refine it, and then we buy it back from them. That's what we do. So for example, if we could become more self-sufficient, Canada, and try to refine our own oil, that would cause it to be cheaper for us instead of sending it over to America to have it refined and send it to us.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for it to be in Canada. If they produce it better than we do here, and that's an efficient process, well, then that's going to continue. If there's a more efficient process, well, then the market will incentivize that to exist.
Well, it's not really about like, and also the fact, like another thing, like Trump wanted to get the pipeline. The pipeline would have been beneficial for Canada and the US. That's another thing that, you know, Trump was pushing for, but unfortunately it didn't go through.
Yeah. So actually the pipeline, that was just expedited by Biden. That was happening. That was going to be stopped otherwise, right? That was on indigenous land, one, and it went against treaties that were established. Plus there were environmental and ecological concerns with that.
Yeah, I think that was a horrible.
Can I ask you a question about the election? How do you feel about the fact that he's been lying about the election for the past few years?
Are you talking about Trump?
Yeah.
And in what way was he lying? What are you referencing? That
he's saying the election has sufficient evidence to indicate that it's been stolen, when there has been literally no sufficient proof demonstrated.
Well, I mean, that's probably his ego talking. I'm not going to go out and
that's not happened at any point in history. So, like, ego is extraordinarily anti-democratic and actually relates to fascistic. This is one of the tenets of fascism, is like claiming election fraud, right? And that's like a method to control your population.
Well, I mean, Hillary Clinton is still sulking after losing the 2016 election.
She conceded the next day.
Yeah, she conceded, but she's still talking about it.
The next day, literally the next day. Trump, we're 3 years later. We're 3 years later, dude.
Okay, but he lost the presidency. Like, Trump is okay with losing the presidency, but, you know, obviously he's upset about why he lost because, you know,
he said that he didn't lose. He said that he won. So you disagree with him. Now you're saying he's lying. So he has been lying over the past few years. He's baby raging that he lost the election. You're okay with it.
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying he's lying. He's just upset. He's upset that he lost. So obviously,
oh my God, baby raging. Give him a bottle.
Okay, I mean, clearly, like...
Can we get some baby bottles in the chat, everyone?
Okay, well, clearly you're not really above the ad hominem, so that's good. Good to know.
No, that's an insult, not an ad hominem.
Okay, good.
Because I already proved that he's wrong.
Well, I mean, whether or not your opinion about like him raging and getting sad about the election, that's good for you. But like, I was talking about the pipeline. I don't know how this conversation changed to that.
Yeah. So like, again, you just like you're not engaging, right? Over the past few years, he's been lying about the election. You think that's totally okay? It's just a little thing, So if Biden or Hillary did that, you'd be okay with it?
I don't know what you're meaning. Like, obviously he's upset that he lost the election and he's gonna go try to win it again. That's what he's gonna try to do.
He's not just upset. He's saying he won the election when he clearly fucking didn't. What are you talking about, bro?
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see when he goes to re-elect. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know how it was done in America. I know how it was done with the ballots, but like, I find that weird. Like, for me, the ballots don't really make sense because like in Canada, we never used ballots and we're like a pretty socialistic country. So I just like the ballots didn't really make sense to me. Like that wouldn't
mail-in ballots.
Yeah, like
because it's coronavirus and this isn't.
Yeah, I know that.
This has nothing to do with how socialistic a country is.
Yes, but what doesn't make sense is like I think there was a whole debate about like showing identity or something about like having ID on you. Like I don't know how.
Yeah, voter ID.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's okay if everyone gets a free vote. If everyone gets a free ID, I'm okay with that.
Okay, but I mean, don't you have to show ID before you vote? Like, isn't that just logical? Like, why was there so much?
You do have to. It's a different type of ID, right? There are so like it depends on the scenario. Like I'm pretty sure I put stuff in that. I have to put like my SSN and stuff like that. But I don't think that you had to show like specifically an ID. You just give like your information. And also, that would be for in person, pretty sure.
Okay, well, I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, obviously you would have to show ID before you vote. That just makes sense to me. I don't know.
But then you should have free IDs, right?
Well, what, you have to pay for IDs in America?
Yeah.
You have to pay for your driver's license?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's the same thing here. We have to pay for our driver's license, and we still had it, and we still used it. So, I mean, that doesn't seem like. I don't understand why it should be free though.
Yeah, so that doesn't like discriminate, right? Actually, like there have been poll taxes that have existed in our country, right? That are specifically meant to discriminate. Okay, and we've already in courts determined that this was like racist and used for those reasons. So I mean, if we already apply that reasoning, well, then it would be applicable in this scenario. But,
okay.
Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to go over or talk about?
Well, I mean, I don't think we'll really find common ground because I think we just share a lot of differences in terms of like, what we think how a country should be run. I'm not necessarily saying your point of view is wrong, but it's just vastly different. Like from what I see, I think like, the conservative aspect of running country is better than the Democratic viewpoint. I will say Democrats do better things in other aspects. Like I think there's socialistic issues, it's solved better under Democratic. But that's why, I supported Trump more because he was very much, not a hardcore Republican, not against like, gay marriage and he's not like 100% like, against abortion. He's more flexible on those terms.
The 2016 Republican platform literally was against gay marriage.
Well, that's definitely not what Trump was saying. I mean, from what I heard,
that was the Republican platform that he was at the forefront of.
Okay, but that's just like I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that, though. Like his whole platform was against gay marriage. That's what you're basically saying.
The Republican platform was against gay marriage, yes, in 2016.
Well, I never heard Trump say that. I never heard him say that. So I know under Ted Cruz it was more against that, but I never heard Trump say that. So
yeah, he also is against like abortion. Are you pro-choice?
I'm not. I mean, to be honest, like late-term abortions, I find that's a little bit difficult to handle. But if it's caught early, then
what point do you think it's okay to get an abortion?
I mean, I don't know 100% like how it works and the levels of pregnancy, but I know there's like different trimesters. So
do 18 weeks sentience arg. Come on. Bro, subjective experience begins at 18 weeks. That's when we start caring. And then there's like other exceptions and stuff, like lots of exceptions for grape, for the fact that people need medical exceptions, things like that, right? That's probably like the best view I've seen. But that's if you're okay with first-time abortions, well, then you disagree with Trump saying that people should be forced to sustain those.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is that, like, you know, with the abortions, like, I mean, I'm more pro-choice when it comes to abortion, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna defend myself and say, like, you know, all the Republican viewpoints are 100% correct. But I'm just speaking on a whole. Like, I mean, I'm more pro-choice. That's just my opinion. But, you know, I know Trump, he was more flexible when it came to that terms. Like, I not really know all the points of like abortion. I mean, I just find like late trimester, like, you know, when the like at 8 months or something like that, I think that's like a little bit like, you know, like I don't even know if it's like considered abortion still, because the baby's like pretty deformed.
8 months? No, 8 months. They would induce labor.
Okay,
like,
well,
there's not going to be many circumstances where like you can be like in a principle sense, like if we're just talking values or moral sense, like against these abortions happening, right? I'm against these abortions happening at that time period, but they don't happen. They really don't happen like that. The way that they happen is induction of labor. It's like actually pretty harmful to yourself to get a lethal abortion at that late.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that too. Like, I don't think the state has any right to like be dictating on like, you know, what should be caused, like in terms of like abortion, like telling people what to do. I'm not for that. But
wait, so you do think that people should be able to unalive like fetuses at that point? Like legally, you think that should be legally permissible?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know, them saying like you're not allowed to have an abortion, no matter like even if it's like rape or anything like that. That's what I'm saying.
Our word or essay, by the way. But yeah, you should be allowed in those scenarios, right?
I think it gives the scenario, like, but then again, like, you know, like when you place all these limits, like I'm not sure. Like, I'm sure they'll find ways to get abortions in like, you know, horrible forms, like how they did, and like, you know, when abortion was not legal. But I don't know. Like, I think it's like a multifaceted situation, to be honest. Like, it depends. Sure. It depends on the case. Like, it really depends on the case.
Sure. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Arad?
Well, I mean, I think I spoke about basically everything I wanted to speak about. I mean, you know.
For sure, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
You too. Have a good one.
All right, let's go on to the next person. If you like the content, follow me if you're ready. If you want to support me, Venmo, Cash App in the bio, everyone. Let's get on to the next person real quick, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 27.
For sure. Do you support Trump?
It's weird. Yeah. And yeah, I'm simply put, yeah, I do.
Why so?
So I just feel like, so they base a lot of why people don't like Trump off of being racist, correct? Or am I wrong by saying that?
Some people might not, but like I would consider both Trump and Biden to be racist.
See, I would too.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just feel like as a working class, I guess I would put it like that. I feel like I get more of my money kept to myself when a Republican is in office. So wait, so you do agree Trump is racist, right?
I mean, I don't know. 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 I mean
I what
You're okay with saying Biden is, but you're not okay with saying Trump is, really?
I just haven't seen the full things of what Trump has said that has like been super racist. Like, give me a real good point, and then I would agree with it.
Yeah,
I
so like specifically, like Trump denied apologizing to the people he called for the death penalty of, right, the Central Park Five, right? So he called for them to get the death penalty, and when they were exonerated, right, didn't apologize.
And
right?
you think
We can relate to back into like what's up?
Is that just, you think that's just related because they were black that he didn't apologize?
I think that's definitely a part of it. We're talking 5 innocent black men.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Definitely innocent black men. And, you know, some people just have those egos, black or white, to where when they're wrong, they don't see where they still need to apologize. You know, so I can't, Biden was against, you know, the integration of schools. That's like, right there, that's a pretty big, solid proof of racism, I would say. You know, like...
Oh, Chad, I didn't mean to say men, Chad. I apologize.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if I can get and see and recognize that it's like 100% inherited was racism put at that, then yeah, I would agree he's racist. But I just haven't seen it myself, and that could be just a lack of not studying enough, getting enough information that I'm having that.
So,
you know?
So when Trump refers to like a group of white supremacists as very fine people, how do you think about that?
Say I would have to watch the video in full context because I didn't see it. But if that is, if the way he stated that, and it was stated in a way to where he is calling those people for what they did, that, and it wasn't taken out of context, or it was a partial video, you know how they can kind of mix them up like that.
No, we're talking about Charleston.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I'm just saying, like how people.
Or not Charleston, Charlottesville. My bad. Is it Charlottesville? Yeah.
But. So,
why am I misremembering things today? What the hell's wrong with me?
Oh, it happens, man. I get that. I'm getting brain farts right now. This is really the first time I've done this. But I guess I need to watch the video and see how the context of when it was said and how it was said, because I know a lot of videos can be taken out of context, like partial videos, and it could be seemed racist. But like if I watch it and it's like, yeah, okay. If he's
what about the Muslim ban?
The Muslim ban? Is that when?
Chinese virus.
Yeah, that was, what would they call that? No, that would be against the Jews. Would be anti-Semitic. Yeah, I mean, you're giving me points to where, I mean, I have no defense with it. So yeah, that is racist. So now
he refers to people who are coming from Mexico as they are rapists and criminals. Some, I assume, are good people.
I mean, with that,
some, not most.
I mean, so we're playing it off those little words of that's racist. Yeah, the statement wasn't.
I would say most are good people, right? You would say most are good people, right?
I mean, yeah, because I mean, there's such a large number coming in. Some is putting such a small proportion of it in there and saying.
So to say some,
yeah, you're correct. You're correct. Yeah, that would come off as that you're just going ahead and choosing that all of the majority is bad. You're correct with that statement. So, yeah, I mean, if that's what we're going off as being like. That proves 100% that Trump is a racist, then yeah, you would be correct. I would say Trump would be a racist in that aspect.
Okay, so like the points that's established, right? Are you okay with the fact that Trump has been lying about the election for the past few years?
Like, is that true? Is it proven? Like, we've got all...
Yeah, like, there are literally, like, he appointed judges, right? State and local judges and whatnot, in which were the heads of these court cases that were heard for the election, and they did not vote in his manner. Right. They did not vote for him, right? Yet they were put in positions of power because of him. So either they're corrupt and he appointed corrupt judges, or it is the case that he literally lost the election. He's been lying about it for the past few years. So which one would it be?
Man, when it comes to government stuff, I have no trust with any of them. So I could take the crazy answer and go with, it was just everything happening, they're all corrupt type stuff. But if he appointed them being corrupt, I don't know. What I want to base, how I would like to argue with it is like, I would like to say the stuff that's Biden is doing this and that, but like, that takes away from the whole, why do I support Trump? Because that's just reflecting from the negatives that he has done. So I can't really do that, I don't know. I don't know, man. You throw some good points out there for me. You know, I still would say I would support him, even though he's kind of done stuff like that, because I don't know. I feel like he's the only one who's really gonna be like, because he's not in that political world like that. So I feel like he'll do more for the people.
So you think he's going to do more for the people, yet when we saw him in office, he didn't do that. Yet when we saw him in office, he literally, after he got out of office, didn't accept the fact that he lost the election or what the people voted on. And he literally said that it was stolen from him, even though the people voted opposite. 7 more million people voted for Biden comparative to Trump. And he denied their vote when he says that he won the election.
What about all the people that voted for Biden that are now wishing that they didn't, that they're now going
There are
to...
people that wish they didn't vote for people. There's still more people today that would vote for Biden over Trump.
You think if they were to run...
Yes.
So if it comes down to Trump and Biden again, you think Biden will win?
Yes.
Why?
Because people do not like Trump.
Yeah, but people do not like Biden either.
Yeah, I know, but people don't like Trump more.
I feel like people are starting to really open up. I don't know. I'd have to just disagree with that. If we were to... I don't know. I feel like a lot more people are just going more Team Trump because they're realizing that he is literally getting treated like the people do when it comes to, you know, people getting ostracized by government. And that goes for, we're not treated fairly if you're not rich and in power. I mean, he's technically rich and in a place of power, but it just still goes to show that if you're not on that side that's really, you know, running things, then you're screwed. Because there's a lot that Biden needs to be investigated on. You know, the Clintons as well, that they don't and they haven't been.
I agree. Let's investigate on them. Right? Like, I think that we should hold all of these different politicians accountable. I have no issue with that.
I would really like if, you know, the people could, like everyone, you know, come together and we stop what the government's doing to us. Because I think as a whole, regardless of what we're deemed to vote for, if we're down to just Biden and Trump again, you know, it's just like picking the lesser of two evils, right? Because like the third party vote, unless the people finally do unify, is just a useless vote, and it sucks. Because I mean, I hate that we only get to choose between Republican and Democrat, and we've seen over our just our lifetime that they really haven't done much for the people.
Okay, so sure, right? Yeah, but like we could also say the same thing for Republicans. Actually, we could relate to the idea that Republicans oftentimes do less, right? When it relates to ensuring people have health care, basic needs met, stuff like that, right? We can actually see, we can look at the data and we can see that typically speaking, things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, different types of social programs, these are negatively correlated with Republican presidencies. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Republican presidencies often lead to a decrease in these particular types of things being implemented, right? So that ensures that less people have access to these things that they need, right? That are very basic necessities to them.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that. That's what I was saying before. My point wasn't, you know, all towards the Democratic Party. If it seemed like that, then I put the message out there wrong. I'm saying either side, regardless, as we've seen just in our generational, I don't know how old you are. I'm 27. But just in our lifespan, like, has the government really done anything to put things into motion that has really benefited you and helped you along the way?
I don't vote for policies because they benefit me. I vote for policies because I think that they benefit the most amount of people possible. And if I'm thinking about going into a society, I'm not thinking of going into the society for the position that I have, right, or where I was born. I'm going to think of going into the society as if I was someone who's an immigrant, as if I was someone who's coming into the country saying, I want the most amount of opportunity I could possibly have access to. That's exactly the way that I think that we should look at these types of things, because then again, it will allow us to produce systems that are going to be more beneficial for the average person, not just beneficial for the people that currently have privilege within these systems.
Yeah. I guess the way I worded that question made it seem selfish. But when I say like you as an individual, you are centered in a certain section of class. Like me, I'm middle class, you know, upper class, lower class. You know, does that make sense? Basically, where I'm at in my period of my life, like I make okay money, but I'm taking care of my mother who can't work, And I'm right there on that peak to where I need help because everything's just so expensive, but I make too much in order to get that little bit of help that I would need, just the extra groceries or just that extra push right there, in order to not sit here and struggle and be, I know life.
We should have access to that, and other countries in the world have that type of stuff.
Yeah, and neither parties, Democrat or Republican, have really set that into motion for us, and I will agree.
I agree, but the thing is, then we have to develop our economies like other Western European countries have done so in terms of like the progressive aspect of the Democratic Party, right? Access to universal health care, access to universal child care, access to paid family leave, access to all these different things that they've had for decades in all these different countries that allow for people to live better, more fulfilling lives.
But well, I mean, what would we need to do in order for something like that to happen? Because we
vote for legislation. Vote for progressives.
Yeah. And then you start
like progressive Democrats. They seem very left wing in our country, but actually, if we compare them to countries around the world, they're conservative still.
Yeah.
Or they're moderate.
I'm not real sure.
And in another country, I'd be a moderate, right? I might even be right wing in some countries.
I'm not even really sure what I would be
economically
in this country, to be honest with you. I have such a negative outlook and trust on our government. I really don't pay much attention to news and stuff like that. You're definitely well more equipped to the information and everything than I am. You're actually giving me a lot of info that I had no idea about, and that's why I wanted to speak with you and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I was raised, vote Republican. Obviously, I'm from Louisiana. If that tells you anything, I don't know. I don't see that either party does anything for us, and I just don't know why the people don't see that nothing's happening either, and why we can't come together. I feel like the government pushes us away, uses the racial, aspect of it to divide us. And I'm not saying that there's no racism in this country. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying that the agenda.
Yeah, I don't think racism is used to divide us, right? Like saying things are racist. I think that people being racist is what divides us.
Yeah,
that ultimately is what the issue is.
Wait, say that one more time. I'm trying
to. Calling out racism isn't what divides us. Being racist is what divides us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just saying that, I don't know, I feel like the government pushes out that so much, but they don't ever push out any of the positive things that are happening to fight that or combat that racial problem that we have. It's always focused on the negative. And I know that there's a lot of positive out there that just doesn't get shared, because it's a lot easier to have us focused on fighting each other than us coming together. Because you have us together and we decide we want to do something, we can really change the aspects and the dynamics in this country. And I would love for that to happen, For sure. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about or add? Oh man, I just appreciate you.
Grace, appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Let's go on to the next person. If you like the content, follow me if you're already. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, everyone, share the live, copy link, send it to a few friends. Economically speaking, whenever Trump was in office, doesn't necessarily mean that Trump caused them to be economically better off. Could you indicate me any reason to believe that?
Yeah, because since Biden has been in office, inflation has gone up 15.5%.
So how does that mean that inflation was caused by Biden? Because inflation's a global phenomenon, and if anything, I have a lot more reason to believe that inflation would have been caused by the Fed's response to COVID.
Okay, but I don't know, though. It felt safer living in the world when Trump was in office than it does in Biden, because crime, all this protesting stuff and the Palestine stuff like that, it's just getting out of hand. It's crazy.
So it feeling safer or it feeling crazy is probably going to be relative to the type of perspective that you're hearing. So you're probably hearing a more crazy perspective now than you were hearing then, because it is the case that the opposing side is in office. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily crazier. I just think that you think it's crazier because of what you're hearing. So if we want to look up like a definition of insurrection, right? I think one to go off would be like a violent uprising against like an authority or government.
Okay.
Right? Is this a violent uprising?
They had people there just walking around just like the January 6th people were.
They had people walking. Were they violently uprising?
They were screaming and fighting the cops that were trying to get them out.
So it was a violent uprising.
Yes, you can look it up.
That raided the Capitol.
Yes.
Please, did anyone die?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay, but if you're talking about the cop,
can you tell me where to find this?
Cop that died. He died after. He didn't die he didn't die at the Capitol. There's no video of the cop getting beat up or anything like that. But there is a video, if you look it up after this, where a pro-Palestinian, it was AFNA. They were helping the pro-Palestinian people, and they were swinging at the cops. There's video of it.
Okay, yeah, you could send me that, and then I'll make sure to look at it. And then if you want to come on another time, we can have a conversation about it. I think that might be actually perfect.
All right, I'll follow you. Just
all right, for sure. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, everyone. We're gonna go over to Dean's live real quick, everyone.